sale, which is up at kauctions.ca, and you'll see the retro curiosity auction, which is up there right now. And I'd say probably about 80% of the stuff in that sale comes from things that I found that you'll see in videos and house clearouts and so forth. And there's a little bit that was put through another consignor who is a local person that had very similar types of stuff that I normally sell. So it worked out really well that we'd work together on this sale and put it together. It's a big day today. We've got two pretty big auctions happening kind of at the same time. I put a car up on Bring a Trailer, and that ends at 11 a.m. my time, and at 11 a.m. the other auction starts, which is selling off a bunch of antiques, collectibles, and also a couple vehicles. So potentially a really big day for us. If everything sells, it'll be great, and if not, then gosh, I guess I still have some cool stuff, and we'll deal with it later. So Ed is asking which cars. So there is if you go on the website, you'll see there's a number of vehicles actually at this sale. The Volkswagen Bus is one of ours that we have up, which is actually a really nice vehicle. And my Lancia Appia GTE Zagato, which I just did a video of a few weeks ago maybe to show it off, that is up on Bring a Trailer right now. So we'll see how things go today, but it's one of those days where, it's kind of like fingers crossed, and it's part of my commitment was to try and downsize the amount of cars that I have, and they seem to keep following me home. Anyway, hope you guys are all doing well. I'm just gonna flip the camera around here, and I apologize if I make you guys a little seasick from the angle or the view. And we are I am pointing this at the screen, so I hope that you guys can see everything okay. But again, the auction house is Kastner Auctions, and I'll see if I can kind of show you that right there. So you can go to kauctions.ca, and you can see this sale here, which is the Retro Curiosity sale. That's us, and this auction starts in 9 minutes. 9 minutes to showtime, and we have a number of interesting things that are going through the sale today. Hey, Matthew. Matthew, I'm selling a bunch of stuff. That's what's going on. Matthew Fox is on. I'm going to try and answer questions from you guys and just generally chat with you while we do this sale. Part of the reason we do these auctions, well, since I closed my store down, this is kind of one of the main ways that I get rid of a bulk quantity of things that I have. But also, it's a good way to kind of see what the market will bear for certain items and see what stuff will go for. So I always think it's interesting, even just for you guys, to kind of see what things are at. So before the auction starts, and it should start fairly soon, once it goes live, it'll actually, we'll see the countdown and see it happening. Before I flip over here, this is the other item that's up for grabs right now, is my Lancia Appia Zagato. Beautiful car, like it quite a bit. But another sort of thing came along that I might have an opportunity to buy, and I got to let loose some items to be able to afford it. So that's what you do. You get rid of some of your stuff. But this one, it will not be easy to replace because they made very few of them, and it's a pretty rare car. But we'll see how things go today on that. That ends in 13 minutes. So yeah, Matthew is more optimistic about today than I am. But hey, that would be great. As we look at the sale right now, and we've got just a few minutes before the sale goes live, and then we'll start to see these lots ending as it's a timed auction sale, and there is no auctioneer on this particular sale. I was going to do an in-person sort of commentary at the auction house, but opted instead to do a live stream for you guys, for everybody watching at home, and give us a chance to chat. So sometimes I like to go in, and you can sort things here, and I'm going to sort by bid amount descending. So that puts the highest items up first, and the lowest ones at the back end. So let's see what the most expensive things are. Now, the Harley Davidson is not mine. That got a 1950 Harley Davidson Panhead, is pretty cool bike. Somebody put that in there in the sale. Oh, it says live now. I wonder. No, it's not live just yet. No lot open yet. Okay. So we're just waiting for that. So I can't see what the actual prices are. I think. Oh, there it is. So $8,000. That's and these prices are Canadian. And by the way, our dollar is really low right now. So if you see anything that is maybe, maybe if you're not local and don't want to buy a whole vehicle, um, there is lots of other stuff that I found over the last couple years and recently that are up here. Incidentally, this Pyrex dish, I found this, for those of you that are in the know, Pyrex is very collectible, obviously. The 1957 Atomic Starburst casserole dish is probably one of the rarest Pyrex dishes to get. That's this one right here. And hopefully you guys are okay following along with me in this format here today. But at very least, if the video isn't fantastic, at least we'll get some audio here. I bought this from the estate of a former NHL hockey player, and they just had it in their kitchen like a casserole dish. And I did pay a fairly good amount of money for it. And I listed it on Facebook Marketplace, and I got laughed off the platform because I asked essentially what it was worth. And everybody's like, oh, you're never going to get that much for a casserole dish. Well, let me show you what it's at. Oh, Complaint Desk says, what auction is this? It's kauctions.ca. Matthew, I don't know if you're able to, I don't think I can switch out and put the link in the comments, but Matthew, if you're so kind to put the link to the auction in the comments here, that would be great. Lori says, I'll be bidding again, Alex, as soon as I have a bunch of stuff for you. Hey, that's great. So this casserole dish, look, current bid $800 Canadian. And I would say that's about $650 US for a casserole dish. But if you look on Etsy or on some other sites, people are asking up to $1,500 for this dish. It is one of the rarest Pyrex dishes you can find. So even though it's expensive, it's still there. The auction is taking place in Edmonton, Alberta. However, they do mail and ship all over the world. And if you buy multiple things, they'll put all the stuff in the same box, or at least try to cut down on shipping costs. So we've got this gold watch. It's at $325. It is 18 karat gold. So if I didn't have a heart, I could have probably gone and scrapped that and gotten more money for it just for the gold. But I don't like to do that to historic pieces. I don't mind doing it, scrapping gold if it's just a generic sort of ring or a band or something, but not if it's good. At some point, you guys will see the video where I found all this stuff. That hasn't come out yet. Incidentally, I shot a whole pile of videos, and November, December is going to be just jam-packed full of videos. Every couple days, there's videos. Nitrous Diecast says gold's $4,000 an ounce. Oh my gosh. I should have hung out. I just, so if that's not an ounce of gold, but it might be a half ounce, but that's $4,000 for 24 karat. 18 karat would still bring a fair bit though. So, I mean, that's probably like $1,000 of gold or more. So, let's hope that goes up. Anyway, hopefully somebody who's buying it is buying it because it's a nice antique watch that works and not just going to scrap it for the gold. Anywho, some hockey cards. There's a pretty big variety of stuff in this sale today. So we've got everything from, this giant Wedgwood Panine mid-century modern dinnerware set. $130 is pretty inexpensive for a nice 1960s mid-century modern dinnerware set. Look at how much stuff is there. That's a whole pile of stuff. You couldn't even buy a new set of dishes for that much. That's like $80 US for a massive collectible Wedgwood set. So there are some deals here today for sure. So for anybody who's logging in, you can log in. They only you can even just watch it at the auction house. You can watch the auction live as we're doing now, and if you see something you want, you can bid. But they put a $1 hold on your credit card, but then they put the $1 back on after the sale. So if you decide that you don't want to buy anything, you don't have to. So let's see. Car still has a ways to go. Ends in 7 minutes. I have a feeling, I don't know if that car is going to sell today or not. That's a big question mark for me today. I guess we'll see. But today should be a good sale. I'm really hoping so. We start off with a bunch of airsoft equipment. And for those people, oh, thank you, Matthew, for putting the link in there. I really appreciate that. Matthew, you're such a good guy. I would consider Matthew a friend, and I've never met him in person. Even though I've been to New York a couple times and tried to meet him, you must be reclusive, or it's difficult to get to Manhattan. But either way, at some point, Matthew, I gotta go have a coffee with you because you know, or we gotta fly you up to Edmonton, and I can take you out to meet Josh and everybody. That would be nice. Maybe that'd be easier if we just import a Matthew rather than me go back to New York again. So this sale has been basically the last few years. I was keeping some things aside that I'd been finding at house clearouts and storage unit clearouts and stuff, and a combination of stuff that I recently purchased as well, which the videos are probably yet to come on this stuff. And I know what's going to happen. People are going to say, "Oh, can I buy this or that?" when they see it in the video, and then and then I'll go, "Yeah, that already sold like a month ago," but that's okay. That happens sometimes. I don't like sitting on a bunch of product or inventory, but the stuff that's in this sale, there are 50s Japanese tin space toys, uh, 1900s Model T German. That's actually a pretty rare piece. We've got lots of vintage toys. The Mickey Mouse stuff is going up. These are exclusive to Canada from the 1930s. These Viceroy Mickey Mouse. It's like a real hard rubber, and they're in great shape. And it's hard to find them with the head still attached. A lot of times those heads get yoinked or pulled off, or you know what kids are like. So there's just all kinds of wonderful, cool stuff. Oh, here's that Team Canada signed World Cup baseball that I found when I did a video when I went to Southern Alberta. We went through some antique stores, and the guy didn't know what it was, and I ended up getting that, and it ended up being Team Canada World Cup baseball signed by the whole team and a bunch of major leaguers on there. We got the spy gear, the spy equipment. There's jewelry, there's coins, there's currency, there's military stuff, there's Pyrex dishes. There's kind of a variety of all sorts of things at this sale. I'm going to go up and see if it's live. It says live now. Let's see if they've got anything happening. Yes, we do. Okay. Oh gosh, I already met me and my yickety yakking. It looks like I'm going to move this over a little bit so we can see better there. That's a little bit better view, don't you think? So here we go. Auction has started. Let's see if we get some bids on some things here today. See if I can get the volume going. So $120, the current bid on the airsoft rifle with the high power scope and the bag. And the one that had the tripod, the bag, the clips, and all that stuff, that went for $275. Incidentally, these things are close to $1,000 for the Crytek ones in the store. So some good deals there. There's a Colt railgun with the extended clip, and it's got the boxer, so $60, $70 bid on that right now. And let's see, it should be current right now. I think the counter looks like it's working. So $70 a bid right now on the airsoft pistol. And I think, I can't remember if this one had some of them had silencers and stuff, like serious stuff. So this is a very expensive airsoft machine gun with the case, the clips. Crytek is very pricey new. $250 a bid right now. Will it get to $275? Everybody's telling me to refresh. So I'm refreshing. Oh, 300 bid now. Yeah, I think I'm current right now. So there might be a bit of a delay on the feed, but from what I'm seeing as I'm recording, I'm current. So $300 a bid right now on the airsoft machine gun with the case and the clips. And there we go. The auction house said, yes, you are. They must be listening. Case of assorted airsoft tools and supplies and stuff like that. $50 a bit on that. I guess you get a toolbox too. Never hurts to have a toolbox. So we've got some of the airsoft gear going through right now. Here's the next slide. These airsoft pellets, each bottle of airsoft pellets is like $60. So there's quite a value there. $70 a bid right now. Shot right up from 30 to 70. $70 the bid right now. Cosmic Butter says, I'm into collecting Canadian coins that were made for special occasions. Yeah. I got, there's all kinds of coins at the tail end of this auction today. Tactical airsoft helmet with the communication set and the gloves, $110 a bit on that. You could really get into your war games with all this stuff and gear yourself right up for a battle. $110 the bid there on the tactical airsoft helmet with the comm unit. There we go. And it's sold 110. Bushmaster hunting spotter scope withstand, $70 a bid right now on that. I guess you could use that for all sorts of things, but it's a nice little scope, $70 a bid on that guy. And let's see, will it go up? Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a lot. Thank you, Diecast Dave, Nitrous Diecast, posting that yeah, there's a lot of coins. If you look at the last lots of this auction, there's a pile of coins. I added almost 100 lots of coins and currency, nice silver pieces, and those are all going up. Crossman Airsoft resetting target in box, $35 a bid right now, looking for $40. Only 10 seconds left. Let's see where that's going. Oh, and looks like somebody placed a bid on my car. No, I have a feeling the car isn't going to sell today. It's too far away from the reserve, but that's okay. That's the other auction that's happening at the same time. Crossman Airsoft resetting tool, let's see, $40 bid right now. And what's it going to go for? With second left, will we get another bid? Off it goes. Here's the combat machine gun. This, when I have to tell you, I found this stuff in a storage unit, and you're going to see this video at some point this comes out. But I thought these were real machine guns at first, and I almost had a heart attack thinking I found a whole unit full of actual machine guns and stuff, because here in Canada, they're prohibited. So I thought I'd have to turn all these cool things in. But no, they were airsoft, so I get to sell them, which is great. $200 that one sold for. Here we go, the Galaxy CB radio and accessories, $35 a bid right now. 45 jumped up $10. Will we get to 50? So if it went to 35 to 40, now to 45, looking for $50. 10 seconds remaining. And it's quite a little kit there. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Oh, I see some other bids coming in on my other car. I'm gonna flip back over and see. Still 1 minute and 45 seconds left to go on that car. Ooh. I don't know if it's going to get close to reserve. That's okay. If I got to hang on to it, the Lancia for a while, or Lancia, I should say, for a while, that's okay. It's a neat car, and I would do well to hold out. Unit and Bearcat CB radio kit in the box, $22.50, now $25, going up now to $5 increments, $30. Once we get through there is something coming up here that's highly undervalued. That's the 1900s Peacock Art Nouveau ashtray. That thing is actually worth, well, people are asking close to $1,000 for that thing online, and I think it was at $30 last time I checked. So somebody might get themselves a killer smoking deal, literally smoking deal on an ashtray. Yeah, there's no delay for me. It's just there's a bit of a live delay on YouTube's end. So for those of you watching right now, just know if you were watching the auction at the same exact time, it might seem like I'm delayed, but I'm okay. Camo Airsoft Tactical Vest with accessories, $60 the bid right now on that. By the way, log into kauctions.ca and you can log into this sale if you want to bid on things yourself. There are still like 900 lots to go, so if you log in now, you have a chance to own some stuff that we found over the last couple years. And there's lots of cool stuff that's going up for sale today, so why not? Christmas is coming. If you don't like buying Christmas gifts for other people, or you don't celebrate, buy something for yourself. Oh, thank you, Matthew, for putting the link up there again. It's very easy. You just enter your credit card info. You tell them whether you want to pick up or get it delivered. You agree to the terms. They put $1 hold on your credit card just to make sure you have a real credit card. And then we'll see. And then you get to look through the auction and bid on stuff like everybody today here. So there's the Airsoft Tactical Vest and Holster. That went for $30. So that was a nice holster, even if you had an actual pistol put in that. They didn't take it out of the box, but it's a motorcycle windscreen that would go on like a Harley or a Kawasaki or something like that. So check over. Oh, bids are slowly climbing on my car. It's got a little ways to go, but we're creeping up there. Well, hopefully, I would love to have a sale on the car today. So fingers crossed. Actually, there's 4 vehicles that I own that are going up for auction today. 1 on Bring a Trailer and 3 on this auction that we're viewing right now. The Studebaker, the Volkswagen bus, and the little dirt bike are all mine. And let's hope that we have a good sale. $60 on the Honda motorcycle jacket. That was a nice jacket. This is the thing that's worth a pile of money and nobody's bidding on it. It's like 900 to $1,000 US online. It's an Art Nouveau peacock ashtray, very ornate. 45 the bid right now. Somebody's going to make money all day long on this thing if you put it in the right type of sale. I'm kicking myself right now, but you put it up for no reserve, and that's where you go. I'm $50 a bid right now. Looking for 60, looking for 60. You're not going to find another one of these. And if you do want to find, mind you, I don't know how many people smoke. At least, I guess cigars are still fairly popular, and cigarettes are a little out of fashion. So it goes $50. 1950s Disney Mickey Mouse Club Push 'em toy cart. This is not one of mine, but it is kind of a cool thing. $45 on that. That would be, just think of all the toys a kid could have put in there. Not a bad idea to have a toy cart for your house, because you could wheel that out to the living room and then wheel it back in. AFX Super Rally set with the box. Nice shape. The cars are being sold separately in this sale because the cars are worth a fair bit of money. So pulled them out and put them through separate. $30 a bid on that guy right now. Let's see if we get up to 35. And my car, sorry, I just wanted to click over and see where the car's at. Still not gone yet. This is a nail biter day for me. I'm telling you, my stress levels are gonna be super high. Here's a skull-handled walking cane dagger. $80 a bid right now. It jumped from 50 to 60 to 80. That went up real high. When you unscrew the skull handle, it has a little dagger, like a sword, inside the cane. Kind of an interesting piece. $80 a bid right now. $80 looking for 90. Will we get to 90? $90 bid right now. $90 looking for 100. Will we get to $100? It's the unusual stuff that I'm just going to actually raise this up a bit. There, that's a little better, right? A little bit better view. $90 a bid right now. 3 seconds remaining. Will it get to $100 in the last minute? $90 a bid, and it's sold for $90. Here we go. The 1950s Japanese tin atom rocket toy. Nice, rare, early piece. $60 the bid on that right now. Looking for $70. 60 the bid. And actually, guys, I'm just going to flip over really quick to see. Okay. We're getting some bids trickling in on the car on the other auction, and it's not where it needs to be yet, but it's getting closer. The gap is closing. $70 a bid right now on the Japanese tin atom rocket toy. This came out of a big estate that I bought, and I did do a video on finding some of these toys. This is one of my favorite little toys. I actually did a video, I think, getting this thing up and running and repainting it and putting it back together and stuff like that. $20 is dirt cheap on a Distler. It has working steering. It has a working shifter. Yeah, that was no money at all for that. Here's the Tin X-07 spaceship toy, $30 a bid. These early 50s Japanese space toys always bring good money. We'll see where this one goes. $30 is a very fair price on that, even though it has a crack in the dome. It's a good, rare, early space toy piece. And off it went, $30. Somebody got a good deal. $50 for the 100-year-old German tin model toy. $50 the bid on that right now. Will we get up to 60? Yeah, we go, $60. Hard to find these 100-year-old toys in this kind of condition, folks. $60 is fair price. If you went to an antique mall or went to an antique store, you would see at least a few $100s, if not more, on something like this. Imagine it in a showcase at an antique store, you're going to see probably like $275, $300, and it went for $60. $10 on this guy. It's in good shape other than the fact that it needs a new windscreen. The windscreen needs to be... it's just a piece of plastic that gets shaped and put in there. So somebody who's creative and crafty could probably get that fixed up. And it looks like my car did not sell. My other car did not sell, so that's okay. $15 a bid right now. Lots going on today. It's a busy day for me, folks. Busy day. $15 a bid right now. And off it went. 1960s metal tractor with the rubber tires. $15 the bid on that. Oh, disappointing when your car doesn't get close to the reserve, because I bet, it just depends on, I'm talking about the other auction now. It just depends on who's on and the time of year and if anybody's in the market. And if anybody watched the sale, the junkyard sale that I think Bonhams, was it Bonhams or Sotheby's did? Anyway, it was a big auction house did the junkyard sale in California. Stuff went for crazy money. Bashed up, beat up cars with nothing left, selling for the price of complete running cars. It was nuts. You just got to get the right people on the auction at the right time. So they'll get auction fever. 1930s Viceroy Disney Mickey Mouse airplane. This is a cute little guy. I had this on my shelf in my office for quite a while. It looks more like a bear on the tractor. It's a Mickey Mouse. $17.50. Dave, if you see a bear-sized mouse running at you, you should still run either way, even if it's not a bear. 1930s Viceroy Disney Mickey Mouse fire truck, $17.50. Let's see where this one goes. $17.50 is the bid right now, looking for $20. And I think you got a little Donald Duck in the back seat there too. Where's it going to be? Oh, there we go. $17.50 sold for. This one's at $15. $15 a bid on that guy. There's a really neat item coming up. This 1941 RCMP doll is totally complete. It has the hat. That's a rare piece coming up here in 2 auction lots. Saw them online for a few $100s, and I think last time I checked it was like at 30 or 40 bucks. So we'll see what it goes for. And there's the Donald Duck Speedster. It seems like Donald Duck is more popular than Mickey Mouse. Can it be? He's selling for a higher price. Oh, there is $17.50 for possibly a $300-$400 doll. But again, you got to have the right people at the right place at the right time. Somebody's going to be very happy with this. I mean, you could bid all day long and still make money on this thing. $22.50 is the bid right now. Looking for $25. $25 where we want to be. Let's get another bid on that guy. That's so inexpensive for that doll, but I had it on my shelf here for a bit, and I thought, well, I guess I don't really need it a doll there. This is the Lego Lamborghini Countach, which I just bought and built and then decided to put up for sale. Let's see. Matthew says, we were going to auction the shoes Alexander wore when he got his Civil War injury, but I didn't want the chance of it selling for less. Walk. Ed says, I saw a few previews to the junkyard auction. All were well-known million-plus automotive tubers. Large Lego Porsche 911 kit with the box, $80 on that guy. It's a fair price for a big Lego set. That's actually a good-sized car. It's, I don't know, was it like 118 or 116 scale? Mechanical line wind-up toy. And when you wind him up, his tail wags and his mouth opens and closes like he's roaring. $15 the bid on that. Lou says, have they gotten to the watches yet? I hope they are at better at specifying battery, wind, or automatic. Lulu, I will try, and if you stick with me on this, I'll try and let you know what's what, but they have not gotten to the watches yet. Here's the Team Canada signed World Cup baseball. The entire team signed that thing. If you have a time machine and a pen and a baseball, that's the only way you're going to recreate this thing. 40 bucks. How much would it cost to build a time machine? Ask the doc. He's the only one that knows. Off it went, $40. Large Lego Volkswagen camper kit with the box and the surfboard and the little lawn chairs on the roof. $100 a bid on that guy. $100 bid on the big Lego bus. Will we get to 110 on it? Off it goes, $100. This is a neat piece. This actually turns into a, it looks like a pocket knife. And when you hit a little button, it turns into a little cap gun. So it's a secret agent. It's from 1967. It's an early Mattel product. $35 the bid on that. It's an interesting story about Mattel. You know, they started with Barbie, which was really just a ripoff of the Build Lily doll out of Germany. And some Barbie fans would probably be mad at me. Say, if you know your Barbie stuff, you know that they basically just stole the design from Build Lily in Germany. Anyway, and they sold their version of it in America. But they did form a really great company, you know, Hot Wheels, and then all these sort of other toys they were coming up with at that time, like these secret agent guns that are just so cool. Mattel has been around for a long time, making some very compelling products, and this is early for them. So there we go, the secret agent. This is a 8mm movie camera that turns into a gun. $30 a bit on that right now. Everything folds up and it looks like a little movie camera. And then when you hit the trigger, the barrel pops out. All of these are cap guns, I believe. And I'll try and read your comments as I go here too. I've been focusing a lot on just watching the auction and seeing what's coming up. So we'll see where we're at here. '64 Secret Agent Zero Gun movie camera. Off it goes. 2010 Canada Olympic coin set, $7.50. Those are, we had somebody on earlier saying they collect special event Canadian coin sets. Well, that's one right there from the 2010 Olympics. $7.50 is the bid on that. And there's another one, the 1990 Millennium set. And those are all uncirculated on the card. $20 the bid on the uncirculated coin set. We have a few coin sets coming up. We get into some military stuff. Perky Pork Pie says, try saying that 10 times real fast. Says, here in the UK, I went to an auction last week and prices were very low. I think people are holding on to their cash. Could be. Could be. Hard to say what the market's going to be. I know when times seem volatile, it's the metals like golds and silvers and stuff that seem to really spike in uncertain times. And then when things get better, there's a little bit more enthusiasm to get back into the collecting and the fun stuff. Let's see. If you bid online, does Kastner ship? No, they do. Kastner does ship. They have a shipping department there. That's part of the reason why I use this auction house, is because they will take care of everything. Pardon me. So we've got some uncirculated Canada $1 bills. This is the centennial year for Canada, celebrating 100 years of being a country. You start to think about what a young country Canada really is. 1867, you know, and there's people probably living in England that are watching this from their house built in like 1830. And here our country wasn't even a country at that point. Uncirculated, we don't use $2 bills anymore, so it's kind of neat for us to see those. I remember those as a kid. We don't have $1 or $2 bills, but they were common. Now we have loonies and toonies. Andrew says, is that extra cost the pricey item? Yes, absolutely. They're not going to ship for free. But what they will do is they'll try and pack everything in one single box to reduce the cost of shipping rather than shipping everything individually, if it'll fit. So yeah, they try and do their best. And my understanding is that they do get discounted rates on shipping as well, because they ship quite a bit of stuff. So it'll be a little bit less than what it normally would be if you went to like the post office or elsewhere. Here we go. The World War I Loyal Regiment Cap Badge, $7.50 for a piece of military history. Cap badges are always so cool, so ornate. Lots of people that collect and admire and appreciate military items. There's another one, the World War I Sutherland and Argyle. It's a big cap badge, big one. $7.50. Somebody in British Columbia is going to be ending up with a nice collection of military stuff for a very fair price. You know, it costs next to nothing to ship, little things like that. World War I era military buttons, $10, the bid on that. You'd think it would be easier to find these sorts of things considering how many were probably issued, but over the years, especially World War I stuff, a lot of stuff got scrapped during metal drives and things like that. That's why it's hard to find pre-World War I toys, because when they did scrap drives, a lot of people threw their kids' toys in the metal scrap drives so they could get turned into tanks and armaments and stuff like that as they needed metal. So a lot of the early metal items like that tended to disappear. So it's not as easy to find the old stuff as you'd think. Victorian Royal Hussars Royal Cap Badge, $15 the bid on that. And we've got a few of these military items coming through here. I think this Dorsetshire Egypt lapel pin, a little off center there. That one's coming up. I think the Egyptian one is neat because it's got the Sphinx on it. And then we start getting into some cool old vintage toys. So for my friend Dave that's on right now, Diecast Dave, we've got some early carded Hot Wheels, some other diecast that's coming through. So we'll be curious to see where that stuff goes for. Incidentally, you can log in today and watch or bid on items yourself at kauctions.ca. They will ship anywhere in the world. I almost said they have universal shipping, but if you're, on the International Space Station, they're not going to ship to you. So maybe they would. I never talked to them about it. Maybe they would. Maybe we'd phone up old Elon and say, hey, can we just add a parcel? Somebody bought some Hot Wheels and they want them shipped to the space station. He'd probably do it. He sent his own car into space. Why not some Hot Wheels? World War II Royal Signal Corps badge, $12.50 on that right now. Yes, Lori's correct. They invoice you They'll have your address in when you sign up, and so they pack everything up and they just invoice you for what the shipping was. Boer War King Edward Engineer's Badge, $10 on a piece like that. The Boer War, for anybody who doesn't know, was in Africa, and Canada did fight in that war, as did England. And that my great grandpa fought in the Boer War, was a Boer War veteran. There's the World War One 9th Lancers collar pins. They have it upside down. I think they thought it was T6. It's actually an NL, but that's all right. So that's an N with an L for the 9th Lancers World War One pin. $7.50. $10 on the World War II Canadian Air Force. Sorry, that's Royal Air Force. That's be British. Royal Air Force Officer's Cap Badge. $10 on that. Coming up to the toys and collectibles very soon here. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to be sticking with the live stream for a little while here today as we watch things go and sell. We do have a few vehicles that I'll be excited to see what those go for. Whether they sell or not will be anybody's guess. World War One Navy Army Canteen board badge, $10. And I don't know if Melissa's on moderating right now as well or not. I know she said that she was going to possibly log in a little while. So to my dear wife, I don't know if you're on there or not at the other end, but hello. Hello, sweetie, if you are. And if not, this probably sounds awkward, me just talking to myself. Here we go, some World War One regiment pins. Variety of them. Nobody bid on those. Huh. 1981 Hot Wheels Street Rodder in package. $30 the bid on that guy right now. Who remembers having that as a kid? And it's unpunched, which is pretty important to find. Unpunched. Oh, there's Melissa. Hello, Melissa. Everybody had that when they were a kid in the 80s. I think even McDonald's gave those away loose as part of the set. This Aries wagon is a super rare Hot Wheels. Surprisingly, they didn't make a whole bunch of them. $15 is an absolute steal on that guy because you just can't find those things. I think it normally sells for around $100, so $15 is a heck of a deal. Just giving some stuff away here today. 1960s Dinky Toy Mercedes 220S, $12.50. The bid on that. Nice little car, very nice condition. Very nice shape on that toy. Someone's gonna be very happy with it. $12.50. So some real bargains here today. So if you're a collector, you should certainly log in before the sale ends because you're gonna get some good deals on some things. 1960s Corgi Ghia 6.4 liter die-cast car, $10. I thought that was a neat die cast. I had that in my on my shelf for a while. I liked it. I thought it was cool. $15 a bit on that guy. An unusual casting. Corgi always did slightly nicer models, I think, than Dinky Toys did. So let's see. $15 bid on that. Will it get a bid up to $17.50? Who's to say? Who's to know? Diecast Dave says it is neat. Yeah, these odd Italian-bodied cars with American engines are cool. AFX Corvette slot car. $20 a bid on that guy. You can see why I separated out from the set because the whole set sold for $35 and the car alone is $22.50 for just one of the 4 cars that were in that set. $22.50 the bid on that guy right now. $25 now. The car is almost worth as much as the whole set itself. $30 to a person whose name is Man Boobs. No comment there, but careful if you're running up or down a set of stairs. You might have some issues. $30 the bid right now to the most creative name I've seen on here so far. 1950s Matchbox Volkswagen bus toy, $15 the bid on that. $17.50 now. Matthew Fox says LOL. He needs a man's ear. Yeah, he needs to talk to George Costanza's dad and buy himself a man's ear. Him and Kramer. $22.50. $22.50, looking for $25, now $25, looking for $30, $25. See, it's because it's Volkswagen. Anything Volkswagen does well. Michael Ripley in Denmark says hi, and he says Denmark says hi. All of Denmark says hello. Well, hello back to you, all of Denmark, a place which I would like to visit someday. Melissa and I were chatting, and we would like very much to go visit maybe Denmark, Sweden, Finland, up in that area at some point, hopefully. Melissa says, that's great. I hope you're enjoying the album. Okay, somebody must have bought something last time. Matthew Fox says, I love the old Matchbox vehicles. Yeah, they are very cool. Hey, Matthew Fox, by the way, My R2D2 with the, do you have the R2D2 with the extending periscope? Because that's coming up for sale here pretty soon. 1960s Faller German Porsche 911S toy, $12.50. It's a 164 scale that you don't see very often, $12.50 on that guy. Will it get to $15? $12.50, off it goes. This is a fairly unique AFX slot car and to some quite valuable. The bids we're getting right now are $35. If somebody collects slot cars, they're going to know that that's a good deal. $40 a bid right now, 40. Even though some of these things were probably worth a lot more, I really don't like selling on eBay. I just find it sometimes problematic. I don't know if anybody out there feels the same, that it's not sometimes not the easiest platform to buy or sell on. So there we go. 1960s Matchbox Ferrari with the box, $15. That's it. $15, $17.50, $20 bid now. $20 for the Ferrari. That's kind of a unique color for a Ferrari. A lot of people think that Ferraris are all red, but in fact, in the 60s, most of them weren't red at all. They were browns and coppers and greens and all sorts of different colors. And red was offered, but it was only one of a number of different colors that a person could get. $22.50 the bid on that right now. $22.50 with the box is hard to find. That's a challenging car to find. And there's another one, $15 right there. Some good deals on the Matchbox right now. Oh, Michelle Backen, you're the first person, I think, to send a super chat. So thank you to you, Michelle. Appreciate that. Gives me a little motivation to keep yakety yakking here. $25 a bid right now on the Matchbox Ferrari with box. Incidentally, if you're watching and you're bidding, the next slot coming up, the Honda race bike with the box, is an unusual one because it has the orange trailer, which makes it somewhat more desirable. So it's a little bit more rare. $25 the bid on that. Right now for the Honda motorcycle with the trailer and the odd colored trailer, sort of a unique one, $30 a bid on that set right now. Will it get to $35? Let's see. Michael Ripley says, hi, Michelle, my belle. Little Beatles reference in there. $40 a bid now. Will we get to $45? $40 the bid. $45. Now looking for $50. $45 bid, looking for $50. $45 the bid. 10 seconds remaining. $50 is what we're looking for on this guy. Especially for people that are local, they can just come pick it up and then there's no shipping costs at all. We'll see. Oh, Matthew sent the link to some of his Star Wars friends. Thank you, Matthew. So a few Matchbox sold there, and we got a Victorinox Swiss Army knife. No tweezers. I don't know what happened to the tweezers. To be honest with you, I had that Swiss Army knife since I was a child. And then I was going through my drawer, and I had so many Swiss Army knives. I was like, well, I guess it's time to let it go. $7.50 for my memories of building model kits as a kid with that thing. 1950s Matchbox Maserati race car toy, $17.50 the bid on that guy. $17.50. Looking for $20. Will it get to $20? Last call, $20. Will it go? Matthew says, how old do you have to be to consider it a vintage friend? Oh, there we go. The 18 karat gold watch with case is going up in value, obviously, because the price of gold is so high right now. $500 the bid right now on that. Looking for $550, $500 the bid. And the reason this watch is so high is primarily the fact that it's 18 karat gold. If it were just a base metal case, you wouldn't be seeing bids that high. 500 is still probably less than what the gold value is, so somebody's still going to do well on that piece. $500 the bid right now. Canadian prices, by the way. This is all in Canadian, so you got to take off, what, like 35% to get your US dollar. So pretty big savings if you're bidding from the United States or elsewhere, because the Canadian dollar is in the gutter right now. $600, see it shoot up like that. $600 a bid right now. Looking for $625, $600. Possibly a local sale. St. Albert's right near us. $600 right now. Will it go to $625? Off it went. $600 for the watch. That was so far, I think, the highest dollar item that we sold. Here's an antique ornate table clock, alarm clock. $25 a bid on that. So we'll see how some of these gold and gold-filled items do today. There's a lot of silver coins. Precious metals are definitely where it seems to be at right now. Here's, I don't know, 15 karat gold is such an odd number. But 15 karat gold Phil Walton pocket watch, $45 a bid on that. $60 bid now. That's actually pretty inexpensive for a nice antique pocket watch. $60 a bid on that guy. Will it get to $70, going up in $10 increments at this point? $60 a bid right now. Last call looking for $70 on the Waltham pocket watch. What's interesting is you can go online and look up the age of a pocket watch by the serial number. There's websites that you can just type in your serial number from the movement and tell you exactly what movement it is and when it was built. It's fascinating. 458 people watching now. Hit the like button, someone says. 1900s indigenous beaded coin purse. This would be from my area, so it's probably Cree leather that's been beaded, probably a trade or a sale item that would have been sold or traded amongst the settlers. $20. They would make things that were, that somebody could carry or bring around with them that they could sell. $20 is the bid on that. Nice beadwork. And there's another one, coin purse. You forget that people mostly carried coins rather than bills back at that time. Bills were uncommon. I think they're in that. There's a silly scene in the movie A Million Ways to Die in the West where he says, "I hear he's got a dollar bill," and he takes out and everybody's in awe of the dollar bill because they've never seen one before. Take your hat off, boy. That man's got a dollar bill. Oh gosh. 1950s West Clocks watch store display case, $30. Where are you going to find another one? I think I found that in the basement of somebody's house. Large serrated hunting knife with sheath, $17.50. It's a good price for a good knife. And we're going to start we have a few knives here, and then we've got some antique artwork and some books and some interesting stuff coming up. So stick with us. Incidentally, the auction that we're watching here today is kauctions.ca. It's the collectibles curiosity sale with a picture of the Volkswagen bus on there, which is one of ours that we've got up for sale. If you guys recall, a few years ago, I redid the interior in that and cleaned it up and made it look all nice, and it had the engine rebuilt, so it's actually a good vehicle, but that is ours. Elk Ridge, large hunting knife with sheath. There's another one, $22.50 on that guy. And here's the Japanese hunting knife with the sheath. Japanese, of course, can be nice quality steel. $40 the bid on that. Japan, known for its high quality blades. $40 a bid on the Japanese knife. I don't know if that's particularly a hunting knife. That's kind of an odd shape. Maybe somebody knows what that would be used for. It looks more like it's for cutting with that curved edge. Original picture of Father St. Albert Lacombe. If you're from the Edmonton area, that fellow is one of the founders of the town of St. Albert, and that's an original photograph of him. So kind of a historic local piece for only $12.50. Got this from a lady who found a bunch of pictures in the dump in the 1950s. Katsushika Hokusai, if you know who he is, this is an early lithograph. $80 a bid on that, $80. He did The Wave, that very famous painting, The Wave. Same artist. This is the Bridge and Moon piece, and very nice piece. $80 a bid on that right now. Looking for $90. If you're a fan of his art, it's nice to get a good antique litho like that. $90 a bid right now. Looking for $100. You can kind of see where it was held in place, so it's kind of come dislodged a little bit, but $90 a bid on that guy. Looking for $100. Will we get to $100? $90 a bid. There it goes, $90. This, they didn't show the pictures in it. It's a really cool book. It's a bunch of auto art pictures like from the 1970s, and it really captures a period of time. It's beautifully done. $30 a bid on that guy. It's a big book too. Like it's almost like a couple feet across. Really nice coffee table book. Off it went. This is a 1959 Gordie Howe Stroh's beer calendar. Kind of a rare piece. $10, $12.50. Where are the bids on this guy? Get that thing framed and put it in your rec room or in your hockey room. That's a great item. $12.50, and it's a complete calendar. There's lots of other pictures in there too, but the one with Gordie Howe is kind of the rare one. 1959, and it runs through the 1960 year as they do. $15 the bid on that guy. And I saw a comment there saying Elvis Presley records are coming up. Yes, indeed they are. $15 a bid on that. That is a heck of a deal on that calendar. $15 the bid. Seconds remaining. Where are we going to be? 15. Off it goes. Good deal. That calendar probably would sell in an antique shop for well over $100. So some good deals there. Elvis Presley. What was on his mind? It appeared to be girls, girls, girls. $22.50. That is a whole lot of Brill cream in that picture. You could almost squeegee off the grease out of his hair in that one. There's another one, Elvis's Golden Records LP in the plastic yet. $7.50 on that. It's a good deal for an old Elvis record still at the plastic. Oh, Michael Ripley says, thanks for 10,000 minutes of entertainment from Denmark to Canada and the super chat. Thank you very much. That's very nice. I appreciate that. It's nice to know that some folks are enjoying the content out there. What was the rumor with Elvis Presley? I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories and stuff, but what was is it Bob Joyce, the pastor, that people think it's Bob Joyce is Elvis and that Elvis just had enough of the entertainment industry and went on to be a pastor? I mean, he was a religious guy. You think they would just do a DNA test and say, like, listen here, Bob. Everybody thinks you're Elvis. You sound like Elvis. You look like Elvis. You sing like Elvis. Are you Elvis? Who knows? But I think the most likely theory, I mean, obviously they did a funeral for the man and he's passed on. However, amongst conspiracy theorists, I think they think Pastor Bob Joyce is Elvis. What do you guys think? Do you think it's possible? Have you looked at pictures side by side? Do you think it's a thing? A part of me likes to think that he went off to live sort of a normal life and was happy and got out of his jumpsuits and got to dress like a normal person. Elvis Presley, G.I. Blah LP record. G.I. Blue, $10 in the plastic still. And there's 50 million fans. Can't be wrong. One of them probably is. Oh, somebody says, tilt camera up. We can't see the top of the heading. Hang on. How about I just do this? Is that better, guys? Can you see better? Lori says, I've won one item so far. What did you win, Lori? Tell us. What was the item you were bidding on? There's another one, Elvis Presley Blue Hawaii in the shrink wrap. Which means the cover's going to be in great shape. It's plastic ever since the 50s. $10 a bid on that. $12.50 now. $12.50 the bid. Some very unique items coming up. Actually, I'm curious to see what this Pyrex sells for. This is going to be an interesting one. This Westinghouse radio with a Catalan handle is a beautiful piece. Gosh, I hope that does okay because I kind of regret putting it through the sale. I would have almost rather kept that just for my own house here. But here's the antique Hercules Ferris wheel, and it works, and it's in great shape. American made, 110 the bid, went from 90 to 100 to 110, looking for 120. Beautiful piece. Margaret, no, I don't think Elvis was ever a pastor. People are saying that I'm getting conspiracy theories now. Let's suppose that if the people are saying that Elvis didn't die and in fact he's Pastor Bob Joyce. Anyway, that's one of those rumor mill things that's probably like a, just goofy stuff. Sometimes it's just fun to speculate. 1930s Westinghouse radio Catalan handle makes unique. Lovely Art Deco design on that. $50 bid right now, looking for $60. Ralph Butler says, I got into buying hoarder houses to flip. Yeah, that's, it's funny. There's not as many hoarder houses that come up in my area as one might think. But, here we go. Rare Pyrex 1957 Atomic Starburst Casserole Dish. $800 a bit on that guy. It's one of the rarest Pyrex pieces you can find. Would have originally had a metal wire sort of gold bid. $8 to $850 to $9 to $950 now. $950 a bid right now in Alabama. Somebody knows their Pyrex who's bidding on this. It is a rare item. $950 a bid right now. This is currently the highest priced item in the entire auction. Will it get to $975, $950, looking for $975? Is somebody going to lose it over $25? Is somebody going to lose the missing piece from their Pyrex collection for $25? Let's see, will it get there? $950 the bid, looking for $975. This actually came from the estate of a NHL hockey player who played in the 50s. He played with Gordie Howe. Actually, that calendar that we just had came from the same estate, and he was on the picture with Gordie Howe. He was passing the puck to him. So it's got a little bit of quasi-celebrity status, but it's a unique piece amongst Pyrex. That is one of the most expensive Pyrex pieces you'll probably ever see. $950 the bid right now. Will we get there? $975. Off it goes. $950 for the Pyrex dish. Here we go. The large 1/6 scale Jaguar XKE model car. Featured in one of my videos. It looks like since I dropped it off, a couple little chrome bumper bits came off, but that's okay. Nothing a little model glue can't fix. $22.50 the bid on that. That's a big piece. It's like 2 feet across. It's big. 1/6 scale is massive. $22.50 the bid right now. Will we get to $25 on it? $22.50 the bid. Will we get there? 22.50. Off it goes. Nature's walking stick. New with tags. If you need a walking stick, why not? Somebody in Edmonton feels like they do for $10. That's a good walking stick. And if you're hiking through our river valleys or in our area here, at some point I should probably just do a video showing you guys what the heck my city looks like that I live in. I mean, you see sometimes me doing traveling shots out in the country, but I should just do a full-on, like, what's Edmonton like? It's for all the people to watch. Night vision binoculars with the case, $90 a bid. Lori says, I got the 1999 Canadian coin set. Oh, great. That's good. You're going to end up with some coins. There's a little porcelain Natasha doll by the artist April Katz, $10 a bit on that. Has a little stuffed teddy bear there. Probably make a nice gift for somebody this Christmas. $10 a bid. This next piece is an oddball. It came out of a storage unit. It was a Spider-Man coffee maker, mug, and socks. I never saw a Spider-Man coffee maker. When I think Spider-Man, I don't think of making a cup of coffee. But hey, somebody did. Thwip. $10 a bit on that lot. That's probably worth it just for the socks even. Lori said the coins are going to add to her collection. Well, there's lots of coins coming out. This thing looks better in profile view. It doesn't look as nice from the front view, but it is Charlie Brown, carved completely out of solid wood. $10 a bit on that guy. If you were a savvy watcher, you probably saw that on my shelf for years. Shelly says yes on the local tour. Okay, Shelly, I'll work on that. I'll try and do a what's my city like sort of video so you can see where I live. 1950s Japanese transistor radio, $20 a bit on that guy. And actually, it's got a nice colorful case underneath the leather there. Pair of vintage wooden skis with the poles, $7.50. What a great accessory to put in your house. It didn't even sell. $7.50. Fishing poles with reels in the carry bag. Whole bunch of rods and reels there. $17.50. You know that's a good deal. That's like, $15 US. Even at the $25 bid, it's pretty low. My old walking stick wasn't fast enough for me. Now I use a Hurricane. $25 a bit on the rods and reels. Take a weekend off and go fishing. Nitrous Diecast says the Corgi Ferraris are coming up. Here's a men's automatic wristwatch with the box. Longines, $110 the bid on that. I make a nice gift to somebody. $110 a bid on that. $120, $110 now. $120 looking for $130. $120 the bid. $130 now looking for $140. $130 the bid. $140 now looking for $150. Where are we going to be? $140. Do you guys remember the story I told you? Now it's $150 about, I went into a guy's house and it was hoarded and he was like Doc from Back to the Future and he answered the door in his underwear with his house coat open and he just kind of flopped on his couch and let me look around. And as I'm walking in sideways down these aisles of hoarded piles of things, there was Rolex watches all over the place. This watch came from that place. And I had it sitting in a safe basically for the last 3 years and decided today is the day I'm going to put it up. So $160 the bid right now. $160 the bid, $170 now, looking for $180, $170. That was wild, that place. Actually, the watch I'm wearing on my wrist right now came out of that same house. I must have bought, I want to say 100 wristwatches over a period of a month off of him. It was insane, the amount of stuff. I would love to find a batch of watches like that again. Corgi Ferrari Daytona gift set with box. Oh no, that's too low. I would have kept it for $22.50. It's a nice piece. It's from the 1970s, early 70s. You got a Ferrari Daytona towing the Surtees race car, $22.50, mint in packaging. Wow, that was a bargain. Bargain basement price on that. I really was struggling to even take that down to the auction. Dave, why aren't you bidding? Diecast Dave, you're missing all the deals. $25 on the Alf Tyrrell Ford F1 car. These all came from a collection. They're mint in original packaging. All mint from the early 1970s. $30 a bid now. That gift set should have gone for $175-ish. It went for $22.50. I will shed tears after the live stream. I'll have to get a mop and bucket. $12.50 on the Corgi Shadow race car. Some really good prices for those bidding at home right now on some of this stuff. You're not going to see this stuff in any kind of store or on eBay for these kind of prices. Minimum, these things are $45, $50 each normally. And that gift set was quite a good one. So some real bargains here for people that are savvy. And this person bidding in California was savvy and got a great deal. We got a few things going up. Matthew Fox says, I have some Pepto. Oh, I should be chugging the Pepto right now. But that's how an auction goes. That said, the thing about an auction sale is some things are going to go for less than you hope for. Some things are going to go for a lot more. And there's a few things in this sale that it would have been challenging for me to take the time, like the Pyrex casserole dish, would have taken me a while to try and sell on my own. However, here at the auction, I got the money I wanted for it, and some things are going for a little less. So you have to look at the end of the day how the sale balances out overall, and generally things balance out okay. So I'm not too worried. Although things that I personally had on my shelf, like all these corgi toys, if you guys remember the unboxing video I did with these, I had these at my own house on display on my shelf. So to see stuff going like a Datsun 240Z in the box for $12, that's a hot piece. That's a cool item. Should be going for much more. So it's hard when it's things you like. I'll put it that way. And Debbie says, looks like most things are at least selling. Yes, they are. Yeah, nearly everything is going to sell today. And the stuff that didn't get bids, they'll run through at the end of the sale again to give it a second chance to see if it'll go. And a lot of times it does. $20 a bid right now on the Datsun 240Z or 240Z, depending upon how you say it. It's the same car. What a bargain. Porsche 911, again, another $12.50, 15 the bid, looking for $17.50. Will we get there? $17.50. We're going to get through some of these corgi toys. And then we get into some of the Muppet cars, Batmobile, Franklin Mint, the Schuko mechanical car. Oh, the Japanese James Bond car. That's a cool piece. Lamborghini Miura in the original box from the 60s. Then we get some jewelry. Look at this. We got a bunch of jewelry. And then the watches. Somebody was asking about the watches earlier. Some of those are coming up. Sports cards, rookie cards, autograph stuff. Man, this is a good sale. There's a lot of good stuff in this sale today. If it wasn't my own stuff, and if I still had my shop, I'd probably be bidding myself. 1970s Corgi McLaren race car in the box. $25 is the bid on that guy right now. Will it get up to $30? $25 the bid. Somebody in Germany bidding on a lot of this stuff. I would guarantee this stuff is double or triple in Germany, so it'd be even worth it with the shipping. Linda says, families from Memphis. Dad died and funeral director had attended Elvis' funeral at home when he just died. He told us details before anyone knew. He showed us the original crypt. Well, there you go. Linda knows the truth. Pastor Bob Joyce is not Elvis. But he's got a good voice. Nitrous Diecast says, I bought some good diecasts at your shop. Yes, you sure did. 1973 Corgi Ferrari Daytona. Ferrari. Just fun to say. Ferrari Daytona in the box. $17.50 a bid on that. Mint in box. All of these toys. I don't think they've ever been out or played with or anything. They're just mint in packaging. So those are almost all gone. I mean, at some point I needed the shelf space back because I'm building a couple big diecast model cars right now, and these were taking up the shelf space that I have set aside for those things. $17.50 on the Porsche 917 in box. And will it get to 20? $17.50. Off it went. Muppets Fuzzy Bear. Waka Waka Waka. $7.50. These little Corgi character cars were part of my collection because I do collect Corgi toys, but I'm kind of limiting it now to more like the stuff. Oh, Harold says, hey, Alex, I won the Pyrex Starburst. My wife and I love your YouTube channel. Wonder if I could get an autograph picture. Harold, I don't mind doing that at all. I'm simply not that famous, but sure. I would be happy to send something along. I'll reach out to the auction house and I'll ask them to include something with it. I just have to get down there before they get it packed up and shipped. And congratulations on winning a very rare Pyrex piece too. 1979 Corgi Muppets Kermit car. Hey everybody. Off it went. $10. Couple of original 1960s Batmobiles that you can actually buy all the spare parts for these things and fix them, as I've done in a couple videos over the years. So there's a couple good bases for restoration, and you can get the wheels and figures and everything for it basically brand new, and you can build it back up. Fun little hobby to do over wintertime. $12.50. There we go. Oh, there's the Franklin Mint Bentley diecast car. Beautifully made, beautifully constructed. Franklin Mint's always nice stuff. $25 the bid on that guy right now. 25 is the bid. To Sweet Daddy D, looking for $30. This probably was one of those things that was like of only 10 installments of $39.99. $40 a bid on that. Will we get to 45? We'll find out. 1950s Schuco mechanical car with the shifter. I do collect Schuco stuff. This was part of my collection. These are really neat. You wind them up. It has forward, reverse, neutral gear. You can steer it. Emergency brake off and went $60. Japanese James Bond tin friction car. $70 a bid on that. That's a really rare piece. Honestly, that's a very fair price for a James Bond toy from the 60s, from when James Bond was James Bond. A bunch of 1980s Hot Wheel cars, assortment of those, $30, and you can get a little metal box it comes in too. Will it get up to 35? Oh, Harold says it's a surprise Christmas present. Well, hopefully she doesn't watch this live stream. You'll have to make sure she doesn't watch the live stream later, Harold, otherwise she'll know. Looks like Alexander's going to need some Hollywood-style headshots. To me, it's funny because I am just a person. It'd be like if you were walking through a grocery store and somebody's like, "Can I get your autograph?" And you're like, "What now? I'm just buying bread." It doesn't register for me. 9-carat gold ring, missing one stone, but it isn't 9-carat gold, so there's that. $22.50. $22.50 now, 25. Again, gold prices are really strong right now, so we should see some good prices or decent prices out of the gold. That's just a little ring, but still, $25 a bit on that guy. See, I wouldn't feel bad necessarily putting some of that stuff through. A 9-carat yellow gold bracelet with Julia name on it. $60 a bit on that. Hey, if your name's Julia, $60 the bid. The note melt would be on 9-carat. Not a whole lot, but it's something. 10-carat gold yellow family ring. That's an impressive chunk of gold, that is. $110 a bid on it. Look at that chunky ring with all those stones in it. $110 the bid right now. Looking for $120. Off it went $110. 9-carat gold yellow earrings. $35. Looking for $40, $35 bid on those. Looking for $40, $35 is where it's at right now. We get $5 more. Off went $35. There's a 10-carat fine gold necklace, $45 the bid on that. Looks like it might be a local sale at $45. Last call, looking for $50. Will it get to $50? $45. Off it goes, $45. Freshwater pearl earrings. It looks like they might have 14-carat with them as well, $30. It's a fair price. Nice little present for somebody. $30 a bid. Michael says, I've been reserving tables at restaurants in the name of James Bond. Oh boy. Sorted scrap jewelry there. $60 a bit on that. And we do have some men's watches. These were all battery, I believe. I think they're all quartz movement, $45 a bit. Mind you, those old digital watches are starting to gain favor with people. In fact, I saw what I thought was a very trendy young person wearing a 1980s Casio-looking watch. And apparently Casio redid their old school looking calculator watch, and they remade them. And young people think it's cool. So when I was in school, it was never cool to have a Casio, a calculator watch. It was handy, but I don't think anybody ever looked at it when you were in the 80s and went, "Oh, cool." Maybe I'm wrong. 14-karat gold-filled penknife with the case. $35 the bid on that. Off it went. Antique Gillette safety razor with the case. I wouldn't recommend using those old blades. They're probably not very sharp anymore, but as a display piece, it's neat. $7.50 is the bid on that. Seiko are always good watches, and here's a nice one here. When I bought this stuff from the estate, they had valued that at like $450, and I said, "There's no way I'm going to get $450 for that watch." And look, there it went for $10. A lot of assorted Magic cards in the packages. They had been opened, but they are all full of cards. $40 a bid on that. They failed last time to mention that they were open, and when somebody thought they were sealed, they went for like $500 or something. So a big difference in price between open and not. Peacock feather, fish earrings, and brooch. Those fish earrings are so cool. Whoever bids this, you're gonna love them. They're articulated. They're so cool. Here's another Swiss Army knife. $7.50. Calculators were not allowed in the 1960s. Yeah, probably because you would have had to bring in 100 reel-to-reel machines. Yeah, they weren't as common for sure, not until the late 70s. You look at those pictures of those early calculators, and it takes up like an entire wing of an office building. And what does it do? It punches holes and calculates and does stuff. And yeah, it was, to think what they can do now. This is a cute little item, the Corgi Mini Cooper surf wagon with the surfboards on top. What a neat little piece. $25 a bid on that guy. Looking for $30, 25 the current bid. Somebody's gonna want that. 30 bucks Canadian. Why not? That's like probably it's 20 bucks US. Here's a World War I military trench watch with the original leather case. It's basically a tiny little pocket watch. It's one of the world's first wristwatches, and these were used during wartime. This one needs some TLC, but rare piece, $100 a bit on that, and off it goes. A lot of assorted estate necklaces, $7.50. We have a couple lots like that, $10 now. Don't know what all is in there. Just a bunch of stuff. You're getting crafting or beads for building stuff. Matthew Fox, where are you on this? You could use all those beads for something. $10 a bid. Now $7.50 on the next batch. I come across so much costume jewelry and stuff, Matthew. At some point, if there's anything you're ever looking for, just let me know. $7.50. Little Miss can't be wrong. Here we go. 1982 O-Pee-Chee Wayne Gretzky hockey card. $60 bid. Went from 50 to 50 to 60. 60 now, looking for 70 on that. Early Wayne Gretzky card, that would be, what, his third or fourth card. His first year was 79. Dale Hawerchuk rookie card, $12.50. Good, solid player. Matthew says, I would have bought that from you. Yeah, I should put together a care package of just stuff. Oh, remember when Michael Jordan went to baseball? Well, there's his rookie card. Upper Deck rookie card, Michael Jordan. Odd bit of history, odd bit of time when he went over there. Didn't quite have the baseball career you'd hope for, but neat piece of history. Grant Fuhr rookie card, heck of a goalie. Edmonton royalty, basically. He's a great player. $20 a bid on that. And there's a few interesting rookie cards and stuff. There's a Derek Jeter rookie card, a Kirby Puckett rookie card, Bobby Orr card coming up. There's Derek Jeter's rookie card, $60 a bid right now. 70 bid, now looking for 80. $70 bid on the Derek Jeter rookie card. $70 bid. Will it get to $80? $70 a current bid on that guy. Seconds remaining and off it went. There's Kirby Puckett rookie card from 1984. $10 for Kirby Puckett. Seems like a good bargain on that. 1984, they weren't super mass produced at that time either, so a little bit harder to find one of those. A few old star cards. Doug Gilmour, we've got a rookie card in there. Mark McGuire, $10 a bid on the 3 cards. Seems like a fair price. I should probably look at some of the comments too as they come along there too. 1970 Bobby Orr, $130 a bid. It's been sent away. It's funny, they rated it as very good to excellent. It's rated a 4 out of 10, but you know, hard to find those cards in good shape because they really weren't collectors buying them at the time. Here's Patrick Roy rookie card, PSA graded 6, which is considered mint, excellent or mint condition. $160 a bid on that. Will it get to 170? Hall of Famer, $160. Off it goes. Brendan Shanahan rookie, PSA 7. Another all-star player there, Brendan Shanahan. Oddly friends with Will Arnett, the voice of Lego Batman. I guess they hang out and do stuff together. $10 it went for. Less than the cost of sending away to get slabbed. There's a Brett Hall rookie card. PSA 8, near mint or mint. It's a high rating, PSA 8 on that. $45 a bid right now. Will it get to 50? $45. That's next to nothing on a Brett Hall rookie card. $45 a bid. Last call, 45, looking for 50, $45, off it goes. Autographed, that is a genuine autographed Gordie Howe. You can tell if it's a real Gordie Howe card that's autographed because he actually signed his name Gordon Howe, not Gordie. So there you go, Gordie Howe card, $40 a bid on that. And there's a Henri Richard autograph picture as well, $17.50. Matthew says, I remember pulling those cards as a kid. Yeah, did you ever stick any in your spoke, Matthew? Anybody remember doing that? So your bicycle would sound like a motorcycle. You'd, I think, take a clothespin and put it in there. Henri Richard, autograph 20, 22.50. Looking for 25. 22.50 the bid. Anybody else ever try and make their bicycle sound like a motorcycle by putting valuable sports cards in the spokes? Here's a nice lot of assorted buttons. You got Mickey Mouse Club in there, Pirelli, all kinds of neat ones. $15 bid on those. Decorate your jean jacket. Here's a crystal globe. It is actually the Earth. It's a globe on a display stand, and it sits in there so perfectly. If you give it a little spin, it actually spins in there. $20 a bid on the crystal globe. And here's the official Boy Scouts hand-carved totem. And on the back of it, it has the Boy Scouts badge. It's carved out of a solid piece of wood. Really cool piece. $10 only. Somebody's got to think that's cool. Wow, R2D2 is $90. So here we go. The rare Star Wars. So it shows you where the market is at. Star Wars is still hot. 1981 R2D2. The working periscope, which was discontinued after a short time. This one has it. $90 off it goes. Here's a Star Wars Imperial Shuttle pod ship. $12.50. Will it get to 15? Who's to say? See, I'm happy with the price that the R2D2 sold for. I actually had arranged to sell that on Facebook Marketplace to a guy for, I think, $50, and then he backed out of the deal, and I decided to put it in the auction. So there you go, went for more. This 91, 92 Panini basketball stickers have some really good and possibly valuable stickers in them that, if you get them graded, are quite expensive. So probably worthwhile to take the risk and open them, because you might actually find some real gems in there. $35, looking for 40, 35. It's a whole case of sealed 90s basketball stickers. Think of all the stars that are in there. $35 the bid, looking for 40. Primetime basketball stickers, there it goes. 1940 Shure 747 microphone. I never did test this thing. I just had it sit on my shelf here. Matthew says 90 for R2 is solid. Yeah, that would be like $75 US, but that's still a good price. $100 on the mic, off it goes. Here's a whole batch of assorted automotive brochures, Civics and Camaros and Datsuns and everything in between. Alfa Romeo in there, $15 on those. And at the car shows, those will sell for $15 to $20 each, so good deal on that. A lot of early Edmonton and Canadian photographs. $15 a bit on those guys. For a local person, there's some neat stuff in there. $20 a bid now. 20 the bid. And then the next batch coming up is a bunch of really cool rodeo programs that were local, but I really love the artwork on them. I think they're cool. You know, like nice enough a person should frame them. $10 on all those rodeo programs. Look at the artwork on those. Isn't that fantastic? If you're into Western stuff, how cool is that? $10 a bid on the whole batch. Will it go for more? Oh, Lori says she just got outbid on that. 1970s AFX Camaro slot car with the case. Nice condition, $60. Man boobs back in it. Oh, you make me laugh. Outbid a person named Bacon Bids, which is also a creative name. So will it go to Man boobs? Yes, it will. I'm not being condescending. That's their actual screen name, folks. Japanese tin Toyota Celica race car toy. $20 a bid on that. Kind of an unusual tin toy to see something like that. The Toyota, $20 a bid. $20, we'll get to $22.50, $20. If you have that car, you'd probably want to have a mini of it. 1970s Tyco Ferrari slot car. It's a rare and unusual piece. $15 the bid, $17.50. Now looking for 20. It's got to get to 20. It's worth $20 all day long. $17.50 the bid, looking for $20. Put your money down, folks. That's a hard one to find. Anything really Ferrari like that's hard to get. $17.50, off it goes. And here's the FX Ferrari Daytona slot car. $45 a bid on this guy, $45 the bid. AFX is the preferred choice slot car for that scale, the HO slot cars, so they go for a little bit more money generally. Here's the 70s AFX Ferrari 312P slot car, and that has the higher performance motor in there, so that thing whips around the track like nobody's business. $30 a bid. It was a 22, then 22.50, then 25, now 30. Will it get to $35? Let's find out. Seconds remaining. Dave's not here, man. Gets the win at $30. And here's the A-Team van. Formerly owned by Bob the Bottle Man. This was his as a child. That's right. I bought Bob's toys from him, and here's one of his. That's how long I kept it for, Bob. I kept this for that long. 1970s Porsche 917 AFX slot car. $30 a bit on that guy. Nice little Cheech and Chong reference there with the Dave's not here. Here's another one. Porsche 917 slot car. What's it going to go for? $30. The bid on that. The last one sold for $30. Will this one sell for $30? It's the last one. If somebody wants one, this is their chance to get one. $30 a bid. $30. Looking for 35. Michelle says repaired lots of those wheels. Yeah, the tires would get worn. They're kind of foamy. You'd have to replace them after a while. Here's a 80s AFX Camaro slot car, $45 a bid on that guy. Exceptional condition on this. Came out of that set. $45 a bid on that. Slot cars are still popular. Getting some good dollars on the slot cars. There's a Tyco Corvette slot car with parts. Obviously needs a little bit of TLC. Hey, if you said you know how to repair the tires on those, look, this one needs the tires fixed on it. $7.50 the bid on that. Some nice little parts there if you need them, and the body, of course. There's a AFX funny car. $15 the bid on the funny car. Will it get to $17.50? Yes, it does. $20 now. Looking for $22.50. $22.50 now for $25. Now $25. Looking for $30. $25 now for $30. $5 bids after it gets past $25. Will it get to $30? How badly do they want this for their collection? We'll see. $25 a bid. Looking for $30. $25. Off it goes. Here's the Tyco A-Team police car out of the A-Team set. 20 now. $22.50. Looking for $25. $22.50. Looking for $25. $22.50 now. $25. $25. Looking for $30. $25. Looking for $30. It's out of the A-Team slot car set. If you bought the A-Team van, you're going to want to have the police car to go along with it. $25 a bid. Last call, $25, and off it goes. Here's a Datsun 240Z, 240Z slot car. $22.50 now. $25. $25. Looking for $30. $25. Looking for $30. Nice, rare, early Datsun slot car. Usually these get damaged or they're missing bits and pieces. This one's in nice shape. $25 a bit on that. Looking for $30. Off it went. $25. Here we go. Some 1980s Transformers robots. Speaking of watches, that is a watch, Transformer digital watch in the middle. I do remember thinking that was cool when I was a kid. I thought it was too cool for a calculator watch. It would have helped me with schoolwork, and I would have rather had one that turned into a little robot on my wrist. $10 for the lot of three. Great deal on that. 1985 Transformers Ransack Insecticon is actually kind of a rare piece. $20. Looking for $22.50. Some Transformer collector out there is going to get a great deal on that guy. Yep, and they did. A lot of three Transformers, $7.50. A different watch in the mix there, $7.50. $7.50 the bid on the three of them. Looking for $10. Fantastic deal on some old Transformers toys. These things generally sell pretty well in the stores. Predacon Rampage there. So we'll see how we do on some of these lots. Yeah, these are Gen 1. So early stuff. $12.50. Prices are disappointing. Yes, they are. If you're a Transformer collector, these are incredibly low prices. If you look on eBay, these sort of things are like in the hundreds of dollars. Taking a bit of a hit on this stuff right now. 1984 G1 Transformer Seeker Thrust Jet, $25. Should be much more than that. Where we're going to be, got to get at least 30. Let's get 30 out of that. $25 the bid, $30. Where are we going to be? I think people are, we're obviously not getting the Transformers people on here today because these bids are way low on these guys. $12.50 for three Transformers from the 80s. Vintage stuff like this. Low isn't the word. I took a swig of Pepto. Matthew, do you have a collection of Transformer toys? You must. But you know the market. You know what these things normally sell for. So that's the thing. Like I said, an auction sale, you never know what stuff's going to go for. There we go. The G1 Transformer Blaster Autobots with their weapons. $40 a bit on those guys. $40. Last call. Gamper says, is it too time-consuming to list on eBay? Why not do that instead? It's time-consuming, yes. The shipping, all that. Like today, we're selling over 900 lots. So if you can imagine having to pack, ship, and take to the post office 900 things, it would take a long time, is what I'm saying. For me to do this on eBay and try and get higher dollar out of it. The thing is you have to value your time as well. So even though some things I'm losing money on, what is your time worth per hour? What's my time worth and my fuel or my time to go and buy the materials, to pack it up, to ship it, to get it shipped and sent off? If you're spending an extra hour of time to make $5 when it costs you $30, it doesn't really make sense. So when you add up all the extra time, it's easier for me to do it this way, and the auction house handles the shipping for me. So although some things are going a bit light, Some things are going a bit better, and like I said, it always kind of balances itself out at the end of the day. So I'm not overly worried. It is disappointing, as Matthew said, that some stuff was selling for much less than the market would normally say. Barnett says, plus out of the 900 items, a dozen or so would draw some kind of complaints that would have to be addressed and could even result in having to refund the buyer from no fault of yours. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes there's damage from shipping. Sometimes they get it and they just don't like it, and eBay doesn't really ever take the seller's side. So yeah, you'd get a refund and sometimes even lose your item. So just a little easier to do it this way. Phil Collins, there we go. LP. We got some records in the shrink wrap coming up here. There was a couple that were doing pretty good. They were 2250 on the Queen Greatest Hits. In the early 2000s, Queen albums were not selling for much at all. It was kind of just like one of those things that you'd see it. And now they're starting to pick up in value. Rolling Stones, Sucking in the 70s in shrink wrap, $25 a bit on that. Some of those early covers were done by Andy Warhol as well. Andy Warhol did a Velvet Underground cover with the banana. He did the infamous Rolling Stones Blue Jean cover with the working zipper on it. That was Andy Warhol. So some early jazz albums had Andy Warhol covers on them as well. So if you want to have a neat collection of sort of interesting pop art, you can just go buy some album covers and frame those and put them on your wall. Michael Jackson Thriller LP in the shrink wrap. Bee Gees. The Kiss Dynasty album was doing quite well earlier. I'm curious to see what that's going to sell for. It has the posters and the whole deal. Kiss did a really great job. I have to give Gene Simmons credit for his marketing abilities because they marketed the heck out of that band. They did have a few bangers, but overall, there was other bands that, in my opinion, were better at the time. But Kiss did a really good job marketing for lunch kits and posters. For a guy who's claiming he's evil incarnate on the news to sell that stuff to kids, $70 a bit on the Kiss LP there. Will it go for more? $80 is what the next bid would have to be to win it. $70 right now on the Kiss Dynasty with the posters. Off it went. $70. Matthew says, as a kid, I was always afraid of that Kiss album cover. Well, now that you look at it, and most of the Kiss characters were pretty tame, the cat and so forth. Sly and the Family Stone, great album, a lot of great hits on there, $7.50. And so whoever was buying these, if you're buying a number of them, they'll bundle them together for you. And some of these are Carole King. That's a promotional copy too, which is unusual. Gosh, she's such a good artist. Wrote so many songs for people. But Billy Joel, Glass Houses LP and shrink wrap. Diverse. I was actually just talking about him last night with somebody. We were having a chat about diverse artists, and I said, Billy Joel, man, he does a lot of, he could do almost every genre. Every album he did had a different vibe to it, from, piano ballads to rock to, retro sort of 50s vibe, a little underappreciated. Greatest hits in the shrink wrap, $30. He had a good head of hair then. He's shaved his head bald now. There was a thing circulating on the internet that showed him playing harmonica side by side with a picture of Darth Vader in his last moments with his helmet off, and there was a striking similarity. Lionel Richie dancing on the ceiling. Dancing in the ceiling would be a little weirder. That's a funny typo. John Lennon Double Fantasy LP and shrink wrap, $10. And then you've got some Rolling Stones coming up. Carole King Tapestry, by the way, is one of those albums that you see in a lot of places, but it's just a really good album. Rolling Stones Tattoo You. I can't remember what the hit was off of that. Anybody remember what the hit was off of the Tattoo You album? I can't think of it offhand. Those sort of later Stones albums, they were a little hit and miss with the hits. Carole King Tapestry, great album, great writer. She did a lot of really early 60s soul albums that she wrote for as well. I think Little Eva, maybe, and some of those. Commodore's Natural High LP and shrink. Early Lionel Richie. A lot of these we lotted individually because it is hard to find them in really nice shape and with the plastic on them still. The Cars Panorama LP. $7.50. I was starting to get a sense for this Man Boobs character. Likes slot cars, likes an album that even just says the Cars on it. I'm guessing he likes cars. Leo Sayer LP record in shrink wrap. Nobody chasing the Leo Sayer. We have, let's see, Jerry Lee Lewis, Bobby Darin, a little bit harder to find his stuff. Let's see, we got a bunch of records coming through, actually. I think the Beatles ought to do okay. I think any of the Beatles albums, Buddy Holly's first ever LP, that should do all right, I would hope. White Album in here coming up. So what do you guys think that is going to be a big seller? I think the Beatles should do pretty good. I think when we get to those Beatles records, we're going to be surprised. And maybe the early Buddy Holly, just because it's so iconic. Three Dog Night, Golden Biscuits. I don't know why I said it like that. What do you order today, sir? I like to have me some golden biscuits. Some golden biscuits and some golden gravy. Neil Sedaka, Little Devil, and other hits. $7.50. And we've got Jerry and the Pacemakers. That was always kind of a Ferry Cross the Mersey LP. That's not an easy one to find, actually. I always wonder when they did their album cover pictures, like what they told them, like literal, well, if the album's called Ferry Cross the Mersey, we should go to the Mersey and we should take a picture of you with some fairies in the background. And then they did. And then there's Paul McCartney, who just looked like you're confused of why we're taking your picture. Not a problem. Johnny Cash, mean as hell. $7.50. If Kathy is watching, there's your dad. You must have, I can't imagine what it'd be like to have Johnny Cash as your dad. And you wonder, like, dad's gone for work all the time and he's out there taking pictures like this. You're in school and your dad's out at work, and what's he doing? Dressing up like a cowboy and getting his picture taken. That's a cool job. It's a cool dad. Of course, Johnny Cash's daughter, Kathy, is a somewhat regular on this channel, and we're very happy to have her sticking with us, and was so kind. If you go back through my channel, you'll see I got a chance to go to Nashville and meet her and chat with her and interview her, and some of the stories she tells from a kid, having like a monkey running around the house in a diaper and a cowboy hat. Those are things that most people don't get to hear about, or grow up with a chimp running around the house. Just wild stuff. That Johnny Horton Makes History album is a really good one. That's got like the Battle of New Orleans and all those great hits, Sink the Bismarck on there. Cat Stevens, great album. $7.50. It's a great album, but there's lots of them out there. So $10. But what a wonderful album that is. I really like Cat Stevens. And he's now, he's changed his name to, is it Yusuf Islam? And he put out an album not that long ago under his new name. And actually, he's doing some good stuff. His new albums are really good. He's still got it. He's a talented guy. Buddy Holly Story LP record in the plastic, still $20 a bit on that. There sure were a lot of Twist albums back in the day. Here's Joey D and the Starlighters, the Peppermint Lounge, Joey D. Everybody was twisting, it seems. And there's Dwayne Eddy. He gets in on it too. Twisting and twanging with Dwayne Eddy. $7.50 on that. Everybody felt they had to twist. Except Chad and Jeremy. No twisting coming from these guys. Just lots of broody folkiness. Distant Shores LP and Sure Crap. And no bids. Off it goes. Gordon Lightfoot. Classic Lightfoot. Just some good records. And actually, records have really come back into fashion. My daughter, who's 14, and in fact turning 15 tomorrow. Tomorrow is Abigail's 15th birthday, so happy birthday to Abigail. She's interested in acquiring a record player. And I was shocked that a kid of that generation would be interested in a record player. But, there is something to be said about having a tactile album in front of you where you can look at the album art and physically interact with it and put it on a turntable. You really don't get that when you're listening to it on your phone. So it's encouraging to me that this younger generation has some interest in albums. Turtles is kind of a hard album to find, if I'm honest, for those that know the Turtles even at this point. Barnett says, my 15-year-old daughter had me set her up a record player recently too. Isn't that neat? Matthew Fox says, happy birthday, Abigail. I will pass that along. Yeah, to all my kids. I've got two that are going to be in university next year. One's in university right now. The other one's going to be in university. And then I'll only have one left in high school. I'm aging out of the child racket. My kids are getting big. But yesterday we had all the kids over, and we had my niece, my nephew over. We had some of their friends, and of course, as they have girlfriends and boyfriends and things like that, the house really fills up. Wait, did somebody just say Elton John died yesterday? Is that true? He seemed healthy-ish. I'll have to look that up. Maybe somebody can fact check that for me. I hadn't heard that. It's kind of sad news if that's the case. Beatles 1962 to 66 LP, $40. Somebody's gonna have to let me know whether that's real. While I'm on here, I can't go and fact check that. Will somebody find out what the heck is going on with Elton John? He doesn't seem like that old of a guy. Like, he's maybe 70 something, I guess. But man, that would be a bit of a shock considering he's out and busy. Look, only $7.50 for Buddy Holly's first record. That, folks, is a bargain. That's a rare record because he passed away shortly after. Wikipedia says he's still alive. Elton John is still alive. Okay, see, this is why you got to double check everything on the internet, it seems. Unless the person who posted that has some inside knowledge. But yeah, I would be shocked. I think I would have heard about that if it was out there. It's a rule of thumb for everybody listening and for your kids. Second guess every single thing you hear nowadays. It seems like everything has a tinge of fiction to it. Bob Dylan, John Wesley Harding LP and Shrink, that's a good one, $7.50. We got some Johnny Cash. The White Album coming up. Honestly, I was looking at the Rolling Stones album that's on its way up there. Says they put out an album in the 60s called Satanic Majesties. It's just such a random thing to advertise. White Album cover's not in the greatest of shape, but still $50. Yeah, Satanic Majesty's Request. What were they thinking? That's so, like, it was so conservative even in the 60s. I guess maybe it was less conservative than I think. When you look back at the pictures, it must have been like wild times with, like, hippies walking around barefoot in bell bottoms and stuff, and you got the Rolling Stones putting out a satanic album. Like, what the heck was going on in the 60s? Oh, she's insistent that Elton John passed away. Okay, well, after this, I'm going to have to do some sleuthing on the internet and find out what the heck's going on. Here's a print of our Strathcona Firehouse and a numbered links print here. Lots of stuff selling today. There's 986 lots. Matthew says, I just searched all over and Elton John is alive and well. Maybe it's a different Elton John, like one that worked as an accountant and happened to have the same name. I told you before, I'm not going to sing for you, but I will do your taxes. There's a lot of people that have similar names. I found out Homer Simpson from The Simpsons is based on Matt Groening's dad, whose name was Homer. And they lived in Canada, in Saskatchewan, if you can believe that. So Homer Simpson is based on a Canadian guy. So I don't know if we want to claim that one or not. He's not the best representation of a male father figure. But I thought that was neat. And they had, remember when David Letterman used to have the guy, his name was Dick Assman, and that was his actual name, and he worked at a gas station in Canada, and he'd have him on the show every once in a while because he had the most unfortunate name. Sometimes there's just things like that happen. Soldering kit coming up here. We've got, this is one of those things I found this in a storage unit and it was like brand new. So I'm like, what the heck? I don't need an iron, but let's put it through. $10. Somebody else was watching and they went, I need an iron. Oh, and Sophia says, I need an iron more. $12.50. Sometimes when you get stuff like that, it's good because you can just run it through and sell it. $12.50. I can believe Homer's dad is from Saskatchewan. Jim is on. Hey, Jim. Yeah, Jim, they're from like some really small town in Saskatchewan too, where the population's probably like 100 people or less. You got to look it up. Homer Simpson based on Matt Groening's dad in Saskatchewan. Chef's knives with sharpening stones lot. $12.50 for a bunch of chef's knives. There's a watch display case with some watches and parts and pieces, $45 on the lot. If you need a watch case, there's a heck of a deal. You can get some watches to go in it. $45 on that. Looking for 50, 45, off it goes. Watch repair toolkit with the case. You got the openers, the band removal tools, the screwdrivers, the back openers, the whole deal. $20. 25 for a nice little set. $25. We got a few watches coming up right now. Yeah, YouTube is not a accurate source of news, I would say. That's the thing is it's so easy to get not to get down this rabbit hole, but the amount of disinformation out there right now is staggering. It's discouraging. So, and to the point now, Melissa second guesses everything. Even if I see something on the actual news, like a you know a news agency that has some accountability, Melissa's still like, "Yeah, I don't know about that." So she's taking it one step further. Mind you, maybe that's just the wife side of her second guessing things her husband says. There's a nice automatic skeleton wristwatch. Got the chronograph features on it. $7.50. Hey, Christmas is coming for less than $10. That's like $5 US. You get a nice watch. There's another one, $10. Seems like a pretty nice watch for $10. Probably about $7 US. By the way, if you're curious to know what the prices are, you can switch the currency over. So you'll see the US dollar. So there you go. $16 on the Casio. So you can switch it over and see what the price is in your currency. If you want to know what it is in euros, 15 euros, 6 euros. So pretty staggering difference. The Canadian dollar is really bad right now, but that's really good for anybody who's bidding outside of Canada because the prices are good. Skull ring and skull cigarette case, $20. Yeah, I guess it's kind of cool. This unusual stuff like that. So that's why I put this lot up individually because people are gonna think it's somebody out there is gonna go like, hey, that's cool. $22.50 the bid on that. Upper Deck Looney Tunes collector cards, a lot of those $7.50. And we've got some stuff that there are some things from other consigners that are coming up. Gosh, I remember Pogs. You guys remember that? Those were such a big deal back in the 90s. You can't even fathom that fad that went around. This is one of mine. Solid onyx stone flower vase. It's quite tall as well. I would say it's probably about 12 to 14 inches tall. It's a big hunk of onyx, I can tell you that much. Solid green, beautiful coloring, $35 on that. Why are Pogs hot again? They're little discs of cardboard. I don't get it. I guess I've turned into the grumpy old man who's like, I ain't paying money for some little piece of cardboard with a picture printed on it. And then you start thinking, okay, well, I guess that includes baseball cards and hockey cards and comic books and, the amount of money we put on things. To think that people spend $1 million on a piece of cardboard with somebody's picture on it. When you more and more, I'll be honest, as I get older, more and more I appreciate experiences. I remember listening to an interview with William Shatner, and they said, well, what sort of things are you interested in right now? And he said, honestly, it's simple things like just the taste of a good orange or the sun shining brightly in the warmth of the sun, like things like that. I'm like, you know what? I get that. Those are really the things that matter a lot in life. And that's what I'm chasing. That said, it is still fun to find things. It is still fun to find little treasures here and there. There's the Techpo. This is a big, giant, massive Studebaker sign. So cool. $10. You can't find that online even for $10. $10 on the Studebaker sign if you're a car collector or you have a man cave or something. Andrew's making fun of the way I say milk. Andrew, sometimes people say things differently. I can't tell you why. I used to get called out if you say decal in my area, and I'm sure Dave, I don't know if Diecast Dave is still on with us right now, but in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, people call them decals. And I was calling it a decal, and everybody would say, it's not called a decal, it's a decal. Okay, so I can call it a decal. And what was the other one? Oh yeah, we would say garage versus garage. So I don't even know which one is right. People just say stuff differently in different areas. Colloquial verbiage, which I don't know. Oh, this is neat. Little poster from the Bonneville Speed Trials, 1964. Cool thing to hang up in your garage for $12.50. Gosh, I should have just hung on to that and framed it and put it in my garage myself. Really neat piece. 1960 To the Moon, one sheet poster. These spacey kind of posters are always kind of cool, and that's an original. 15 bucks on that. 15, looking for 17.50. Back in the 90s, by the way, that would have been a couple $100. The market has shifted a fair bit on that. And the auction is live. Swirling Soul says, wow, live auction. Definitely missed that one. This auction is live right now. If you're watching this and hearing me talk at this moment, you can still log in. Matthew just posted the link. You can click that and log in, and you can bid on stuff. There's still probably 500-600 lots to go here. Edmonton, Alberta picture book, $40 a bid on that. That's a nice early piece. You can see how our fair city has changed over the years. Next up is a first edition Ernest Hemingway, For Whom the Bell Tolls. It's first edition Hemingway, 40 bucks. How could you go wrong? That's a piece of history right there. $50 now. Now 60, now 70. $70. First edition Hemingway, folks. $90 the bid. Looking for 100. I had this in my own collection for quite a while. I can't even remember where I found it, but it's a great story. Basically, if you've not read it, it's about his experience in the Spanish-American Civil War that happened, and his role that he played in the story. It's a iconic Hemingway book. $120 bid now. Looking for 130. He's such an interesting writer too. Just the details. And he opened his satchel, and it was leather, and he was strong, and he made his way through the wilderness and climbed the spruce tree where he sat in his perch. Like, he's got such specific details in his writing, and it was good. For that view, he could see the bell tower. Anyway, you should read Hemingway if you haven't. I love the way he writes. 1904 Canadian photo book. Look at it climb, 40 to 45 to 50, now $60, looking for 70. 1904 Canada, ocean to ocean. You can tell it's old. Look at the camera the guy's using on the cover. It's one of those big fold-out cameras. Off it went, 60 bucks. Large tackle box full of fishing lures. Here's one that if you're a fisherman, you should find this lot alluring, perhaps. $20 the bid. That's probably the value of what the case is. The case is probably more than 20 bucks, and it's full of lures. That was a good deal. Trucker CB radio long-range antennas, 10 bucks. Looking for $12.50. $10 a bid on that. Oh, there's such a variety. Yeah, you can hear my dog in the background. I don't know why Chewy gets all excited. Usually it's when somebody's at the door, or if Melissa or the kids are like, I can imagine they probably have one of his toys and they're like waving it around, trying to make him go run for it. That's usually when he gets worked up. Otherwise, he's a pretty quiet pooch. But when that dog goes off, I'm telling you. Oh no, I wasn't thinking anybody was making fun of me. Don't worry about that, Andrew. I get a lot of comments about sometimes the way I say things. Being Canadian, I talk a little funny. Compared to my American neighbors. Box of large ratchet straps, 10 bucks. Some of this stuff is just useful things that you can use. Things that I found clearing out storage units or house clear outs and things like that I thought, oh, somebody's going to want that. Maximum tool bag full of tools. There's a whole pile of tools in there. They didn't show them, but there are. Anyway, it's a good bag, and there's a bunch of tools. 35 bucks, a good deal on that. Is it Mabga or Magma? Oh, okay. Snake Blackweb gaming keyboards use $7.50. I feel like we're getting into quad monitor. This is for mounting 4 monitors onto your desk. You could have like a Captain Picard style station right at your seat. VR headset and remote, $7.50. Some good electronic stuff coming up here. What do we have going on? So there's some electronics, computer displays, monitors. There's the MSI gaming laptop, which last I checked, that gaming laptop was, I think, around 60 bucks, so not super high. And then we get back into some collectibles and stuff very shortly here. We're going to let this auction keep rolling along, and I'm going to stick with you guys. By the way, thank you to the 443 people who are watching this with me live right now. Portable speaker with box. It's funny, we had I probably could have used that myself. We had our speaker that we use is a Bose SoundLink that we have downstairs, and we had a bunch of people over for kind of a post-Halloween party. And it wasn't working. Wouldn't turn on, and then I went online and I looked up how to do a hard reset, and I just had to hold the mute button for 10 seconds, and it worked perfect. So we almost thought it was broken and gone forever. Here's an oversized store display wristwatch clock. It's the type you see in like a watch store, or you have to be a distributor or dealer to get these things, but it's neat. 60 bucks. Tomahawk style hatchet, new with box, $17.50. Very ornate. It's got some leather going on and some etching on the blade, $17.50. I should probably ask while I have you on the chat, where's everybody from today? I know Matthew's in New York. I know Nitrous Diecast is in Edmonton. In fact, if I was feeling motivated enough, I could probably walk to Dave's house from my house. We used to be practically neighbors. But where's everybody from today? Put it in the comments. Curious to see who's the farthest. Brooks, Alberta, okay. Romania, that's pretty far away. Never been to Romania. I'd like to go at some point. UK, my friend Bill, my German friend Bill, actually, he has family that's from Romania. And I wish Bill was on right now. He could tell us what village they were from, because apparently there's, he went to Romania and they said there's differences in what village you're from. So Detroit, Stockholm, Sweden, Brazil, Sapporo, Japan, 3:40 a.m. Wow. Thanks for joining me today. Belgium, Pittsburgh, Wisconsin. We're like the United Nations of antique enthusiasts here. Look at us. Denmark, North Carolina, Laredo, Texas, Illinois. Holy cow, there's people from all over the place on here. Upper West Side, New York. Yeah, I wonder if when I was in New York, if we walked past your place, because we walked all over New York when I was there not that long ago. Connecticut, Massachusetts. Do you say Gloucester? Maybe I said that wrong. London, Ontario. London, that's where our friend Adam is, in London, Ontario. John Train, if you ever need drywall, you should look up Adam's drywall company. Edmonton, Alberta. Locals. Australia. Oh, we got these monitors selling right now. I'm going to come back to that. The gaming laptop sold for $100. That's actually not a bad deal on that. The ultra wide monitor in box, $80 is the bid on that. They didn't open up and take it out, but it's in there. Like new condition. People from all over the place on here. Well, welcome to you. Melanth from Northern England. That's where my people are from, Northern England. Newcastle, Northumberland. I got to get up there at some point. I'd like to go. My great grandpa used to own a store, and the store still exists, and it's still a store. And I would just really love to go visit that store and walk in and know that that was his. That was part of our family where they started. Portland, Oregon, looking to get rid of a lot of stuff. Hey, Linda, you should send me an email if you got stuff I might like. curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. You can drop me a line. Alina says, I'm in a big city from Romania. And I have no idea. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this. Timisoara? I have no idea how to say that. Alice is in beautiful St. Albert. Yes, St. Albert is a very nice community, very nice town. $190 on the Winnie the Pooh art. This is a cute thing, especially if you have a kid's room or something, you want to have that in there. It's a nice little piece. It would be, I really want to get out to England and go. The problem with North England is I looked at what the weather's like, and it looks like, and you could correct me if I'm wrong since there is a person on here from Northern England, but it looks like that Newcastle, Northumberland area is kind of miserable weather all year long. And there's a period of summer where it gets moderately warmer, but for the most part, it's like drizzly and kind of cold. And yet my ancestors lived there for like 1,000 years. Well, who knows? Maybe not 1,000, but a long time anyway, as far back as I can go. At very least, the records I see is that we were in that area from like 1300 to 1850 or so when they came over to America. That's a pretty long run. That's a long run. They were there so long that their name started getting Latin. Dave says, no, not that bad. I thought it was just rainy and drizzly and cold. I was trying to look at the weather to figure out when the best time of year to go to England would be, because I really want to go and visit the place where my family came from. But we got Brasov. Is that Russia? Gamers on. My great grandpa was from Russia, and my great grandma was Ukrainian Polish. So I've got a little mix of the Eastern European side in me. 1966 Wedgwood Panine set. This is actually a really good set. Mid-century modern. Look at all the pieces there. 150 bucks. You can't buy a new set for that price, let alone a nice vintage one. Motorcycle seats off of Kawasaki, 10 bucks. What would it cost you to upholster your motorcycle seats? More than 10 bucks, that's for sure. $12.50. Oh, is RO Romania? I think RU is Russia, right? I don't know. I gotta work on my abbreviations. English weather is unpredictable, just like the Dutch weather. Is that why the Dutch wear the wooden shoes so their feet don't get wet from the unpredictable rain? They're klompen. We have sun in the summer. Okay, that is the one nice thing about Canada, although not today because it's a little drizzly, is that it's sunny where I am almost all year long. Even in winter, it's sunny and bright. And I tell you, psychologically, sun really plays a role on your mood and attitude. So even though we get a little bit of cold for 4 or 5 months out of the year, it's sunny, really sunny all the time, and it's generally a pretty happy place to live. Vintage RCF pilot's caps with badges. Look at that. Nice little selection of RCF hats. $50 a bit on those. Looking for 60. That's less than 10 bucks a hat. Off it went. 1950s jerseys, team sweaters, etc. A nice little variety there. $35. $35 the bid. We get into some sports cards and collectibles coming up here pretty soon. Star Trek classic set and card game lot. So this is a Star Trek, kind of like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and all. Well, maybe not Pokemon. Yeah, maybe Pokemon. It's a card game set, but it's Star Trek based. $35, a binder chock full of them. Next generation card lot set, $22.50. Where are my Trekkies at? Where are all the Trekkies at? $22.50 for the binder full. Actually, it's complete sets is what these are. 1998 Star Trek game card set is another lot there, $25 on those. We got a few of these sets coming up, including the Marvel card games. Newcastle upon Tyne, the best of the best. Okay, well, that's where my family lived. Were they right in Newcastle? No, there was where our store was. They lived in Newcastle, and there's a sort of a it would have been a summer sort of village or it's funny. I went on the oh gosh, my mind is going blank in terms of what the name of the town was. Anyway, I went on, they had a Facebook page for this town that my family had the building in, which is a smaller town. And somebody found a letter that someone wrote to my great grandpa. And he's saying basically it's the town is shrinking, the church is shut down. My family owned the church in town too. They owned a church, and so they must have had money at some point. I don't know what happened. Because I can tell you, growing up, that wasn't the case. It must have dissipated. But they said, yeah, that the church is shut down. A good thing you left. Like they were having trouble with Scottish sheep rustlers, and it scared people away from the village, apparently. And so the town kind of suffered a bit. One of my best friends is Scottish, so I was giving him a hard time about that. Your people drove my people to America. Chasing our sheep. 1993 Marvel comic card set, $40 the bid on that. I hate having those blanks, when you're trying to think of something, you can't remember it off the top of your head. I get that more often lately. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm not getting the right nutrients or something. Or I filled my brain up with so much useless nonsense about collectibles that I've forgotten the stuff that actually matters, like the family details and birthdays and stuff are going out the window. And yet I could tell you, what the most valuable card was in a 1986 O-Pee-Chee hockey card set. I gotta replace that knowledge with other stuff at this point. I think I'm like one of those. Do you guys ever have the Play-Doh barber set where you put the Play-Doh in the bottom and you turn the crank and the hair comes out? That's like me with knowledge. New stuff comes in, old stuff goes out. 1995 Batman insert. So these are like metallic cards. Kind of an unusual set. $30 on that. Superhero stuff always seems to sell pretty good. Lois and Clark Superman card set. $12.50 on that. I had one of these. One of the Play-Doh sets where you put the little, and then if you didn't clean it out properly, the holes would get plugged, and if you tried to put Play-Doh in, it would pop out a little crusty chunk of hair nub on the end of the Play-Doh. Only a select few people listening will know what the heck I'm talking about. I don't. Did they have The Play-Doh sets in Romania? I don't know what made it over the pond there. I don't know what popular Romanian toys were back in the 1970s and 80s. Maybe you can tell me. Hopefully it's not something sad. You'll be like, yes, here in Romania we had a rock, but we weren't allowed to paint faces on the rock. We just had to play with the rock. I imagine the one thing I do like about Europe is that family and good food and all that is very central to culture in Europe. That's not it's like it's part of our life here, but I almost feel like at some point putting food in your body is just like, oh, my body's telling me I have to eat. Let's get this out of the way, and then you end up hitting a fast food place just to placate yourself so you can get on to the next task you have to do. But when I was in Switzerland, what I loved is that you go there and people were like having, it was like, I have this memory of being in Lucerne and people were having like a nice coffee and they were sitting there laughing and there's swans in the lake next to us in this beautiful medieval bridge. And you're going, man, I feel like I'm living wrong somehow. These people are just really enjoying life. I feel like I got to do more of that. Oh, here's the Jello coin set. I'm going to scroll now and I'm going to, change the topic. $45 on the set of Jello coin cars. And we've got the planes coming up here too. 45, now 50, looking for 60, $50 a bid, looking for 60. 60, now looking for 70. Yes, opening a brand new container of Play-Doh was like, your brain almost tells you should eat it, but you're like, nah, that's probably a good idea. But it's just like that wafting smell of fresh Play-Doh. Certain things that, I'm sure it wouldn't kill you. It is mainly flour, I think. I should ask Melissa. She makes Play-Doh for her kids at the preschool all the time. I think what makes it not edible is the fact that it has gross kindergarten fingers all over it all the time. 1960s Jello coin, famous plain coin set with holder, $50 on that. See, for me, when I do these auction sales, it gives me a sense of what I should be paying for things because a lot of stuff that people think will still bring the high dollars it did 10, 15 years ago simply does not. Smoking pipes with stand, $60, $70. That's a lot of pipes, to be honest. That's like $5 a pipe. $70, now 80. 80, now 90. 90, looking for 100. $90, looking for $100. Will we get there? Is chewing fun tack bad? What is fun tack? Are you talking about is that like, what am I thinking of? Silly putty? Is that kind of the same thing? Dark side figure with the original box vinyl figure. No sale on that. Box of assorted vintage marbles, $12.50. John says, I have a Jello coin set that I'm selling now. I know how much to charge. Yeah, it went for what, 60, $70 is probably about the going rate on those things. They used to be more, to be honest. Here's a whole bunch of Big Bang Theory figures. How cute. Look at them all. $15 on that. Nice little set. You got everybody in there. Nancy Drolet hockey picture. Team Canada, one of the few females that made it into the pros like that. Signed Mike Bossy hockey picture, $10. We got a Bobby Orr and a Cassie Campbell. And then we get into some cameras and back into the collectibles again. Lots of neat stuff going through. Hey, by the way, thank you. I know I thanked you like 5 minutes ago, but thank you to everybody who's watching this and for those that are bidding and that watch my channel. I really appreciate all of you. YouTube has definitely given me a fun and interesting life where I get to go out and find stuff and have fun and do things and make me avoid having a quote-unquote real job, at least for the time being. $30 for the Bobby Orr picture. My older brother was always trying to feed us the Play-Doh. Would he at least make it into like a little hamburger and tell you to eat it or something? I wonder if there's a restaurant out there that makes everything exclusively with an Easy Bake Oven. What's taking this muffin so long? Listen, it's in the oven right now, that light bulb. And the problem is now most light bulbs are like LED. So you'd be there for like, you'd never get it baked. You need a good, what was the wattage of an Easy Bake Oven light bulb? Was that a 60 watter in there? If you want to heat things up a bit, 100 watt, but then probably you'd warp the plastic of your little oven. I will admit this freely, that as a young boy, I was intrigued by the Easy Bake Ovens, but I was told that they were girl toys, but I didn't care. I wanted to bake food in my room. I wanted chocolate icing on muffins in my room. How come the girls got the cool stuff? Anyway, I ended up taking home economics in grade 7, and we got to make pizza and muffins and stuff. And it was me and my friend Peter were the only boys in the whole class. And that was a favorable ratio when you're in junior high school. $70 the bid on the Nintendo Game Boy with games and papers. I think they eventually did make an easy bake type oven that was more for either or. But I sure did like the concept of the little packets of cake mix that you could. And Plus Ultra says, I only dated girls who could use an easy bake. How old? How old were these girls you were dating? I think you needed to aim a little higher for the age range, but no, that's a good idea. If you can bake your own stuff. I actually encouraged both my boys to take cooking class in school because I think that they should be able to do everything. I don't want them to be, to just have to go out. Actually, Stephen had a job as a cook at a restaurant. He can make pretty much anything, steaks and shrimp and whatever. He was a chef at a Bubba Gump's, and so whatever they serve on their menu, my kid can make. Vintage military keepsake box full of stuff. What's in there? I don't know. Pretty cool. Dig through and have a look. $25. Plus Ultra says I started dating young. I remember having a girlfriend when I was in grade 4. That's pretty young when you think about it. I thought I was old in grade 4. But, having a girlfriend in grade 4 is like, you kind of hang out together at lunch and maybe you'll hold her hand, and that's about that. You were smarter. You were like, can you use an easy bake oven? Everybody's got their things. Alina says we had all kinds of toys here. This is in Romania, mainly produced in Romania, also some kind of Play-Doh, but I was born in 82. Oh, you're like the same age as my wife, Melissa. Very similar in age. She was born in 81, so you guys are similar. She doesn't like the fact that she's technically a millennial. She rejects the fact that she's a millennial. Has not embraced that. Northern Electric waterfall radio, untested, $120. These are a very pretty radio. And that color is unusual. That's why it went for more than the other one. They went for 80, 90, and 120. The green one was rare. The pinky one was kind of a tough one to find. The topics we get into when we do these live streams, we talked about whether people in Romania had Play-Doh. She said it was some kind of Play-Doh. Now I'm concerned of what you might have had. Some kind of Play-Doh. We weren't sure what it was. It was squishy, I'm guessing. I got to go to Romania. I think, okay, what are the big things in Romania? My friend Bill, who has been to Romania, said that they have some pretty amazing beer out there. But then again, Bill is a fan of finding any kind of, he has his beer of choice is Stiegl. I think is it Austrian or German? Stiegl brand beer? That's what my German friend Bill, Romanian German. Jim, our blacksmith friend in Saskatchewan, says, my grandma often said, man needs to know how to cook in case he gets a wife who can't. Well, that's an old-fashioned expression. I just think you should know how to cook because you should know how to cook. I want my boys and my daughter all to be able to. That's the thing, is that I'm teaching them all how to like change tires and do their oil and take care of their cars and stuff, including Abigail, and also making sure they all know how to cook, and they should just be well-rounded human beings. They should all know how to do that kind of stuff. Like I said on the last live stream, Abigail took woodshop class in grade 10, which she's in right now, and she came home with what I can only describe as an Amish quality stool that she made. It has beveled edges and a little flower that's like carved into the wood, and it's perfect. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you know what? I don't think I've ever made anything that nice out of wood. What a gal. She's talented. I'm very proud of all my kids. Very proud of all my children. It reminds me of when I went to Jason's grade 9 graduation ceremony, and him and his friends had formed a band unbeknownst to us, and he taught himself how to play the drums proficiently, and they rocked out Nirvana so hard that parents got up and formed a mosh pit nearly by the front of the stage where they were playing. It blew my mind. I didn't even know the kid knew how to play music. And he'd been going at lunchtime and teaching himself how to play the drums on the drum kit. That's why I ended up getting him a drum kit, which if you have a kid with a drum kit, you're like happy that they're playing. But on the other hand, when you're trying to watch a show or do other things, you sorely regret it at moments. But I'd rather he was playing music and having fun than whatever I think I need to do. HP LaserJet printer, $25 on that. We got some good just sort of household stuff coming up. We got some tuners and DVD players, cassette player. Let's see what the cassette player goes for. Jim Sales, I failed in shop class in school. Considering you're a craftsman who works with his hands for a living, that is surprising, but sometimes those things find you later in life. Cassette player, 60, now 70, $70, looking for 80. It's Harman Kardon cassette player with the instructions, with the box, 80 bucks, now 90, $90 a bid, now looking for 100. Hard to find a cassette player. Linda says, I'm proud of my son. He does as much cooking, cleaning as his wife, just jumps right up when stuff needs done. I'm kind of the same way. I like to help out and take care of things too. I think you have to be 50-50 with your spouse in responsibilities. Okay. $100 it went for. That's great. Here's a Denon DVD player with the box, DVD video player, $7.50, now 10. You know, these things are going to be getting harder to find. Just like people who are looking for VHS players or VCRs are difficult to find in good shape now. So VHS players are actually starting to really go up in value. They used to be worthless, but now they're hard to find. Course synthesizer tuner. I probably should have hung on to that for myself. I actually kind of need one. 10 bucks. It's fair. Oh, this is one of those moments where I want to bid on my own thing because I could use that, but so it goes, off it goes. I mean, incidentally, you're not allowed to bid on your own stuff. There's a nice CD player with the box and the remote, $10 a bid on that. Good quality stuff, $10. That was probably like $500 or more when it was new. It'll come back around. Collector mini goalie helmets, $17.50 for the lot of those. We got a few of those lots. That jumped up, $22.50 now. Now 30. Will it get to 35? Probably some people that are collecting these that are missing that as part of their set and need to grab it. Now 30. Lorraine Mitchell says, a man who jumped in with the housework without being asked and without complaining is something she looks for. Well, good. You can remind Melissa of that. I don't know if Melissa's still on. I think Melissa appreciates it anyway. I don't expect her to do it. But if we have company over, like I try and jump up and help clear the dishes and sweep and get the dishwasher started. And I just, I don't know. Part of it is also I like to have a clean home. And so I think that if you want to have a nice space, you got to chip in and do that. I think it would drive me crazy if you had a spouse or partner. And I'm not saying this, I don't know who your spouses or partners are, so please don't take this personally. But I think it would personally drive me nuts if I was married to somebody who didn't help out at all. I'd be like, what the heck? Don't you live here too? Michelle says her first job was a restaurant in St. Paul, 7th Street near downtown. Restaurant jobs are pretty challenging, I have to say. It was grueling for Steven. It was all work, no breaks. They didn't give him any breaks at all, even if it was an 8-hour shift. And he was getting burnt by oil, and it was rough. So, you know, when you tip out the staff and that portion goes back to the kitchen staff, the kitchen staff is doing quite a bit. I mean, they're not dealing with the customers and taking the orders and upselling and doing the stuff that a waiter or waitress does, but they are working hard back there for sure. These mini goalie helmets are doing okay. 70 bucks on the big box of those goalie helmets. I didn't know what they would sell for, to be honest. I didn't know if they'd bring any kind of money at all, but $50 a lot's pretty good. That's, over a couple $100 for those. Funko Pop Kill Bill, lot of 3, $30 on those. You got Bill, Crazy 8, and Go-Go Yabari. $30 a bid. Off it goes. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, $120 on these. Lorraine Mitchell says, I can vouch for how hard restaurant work is hard work. It can be fun too. Yeah, I think that he enjoyed the work. I think he enjoyed, that's what it was like when I worked in the film industry. It was really long days. It was really hard work. People yelling and screaming and stress, pretty in the job I was in anyway. And then everybody's friends again at the wrap party. Like everybody's yelling at you and cracking the whip all through the movie, and then at the wrap party, like, you did a really great job. You want to hang out? And you're like, you just yelled at me for 3 months straight. But it was fun. You know, I had some really great experiences doing that too, but it would be hard to do now at this age. A lot of 5 Funko Pop figurines. Howard the Duck in there and some other ones, $20 a bit on those. 1980s hockey puck lot, $90 currently bid on that. We're getting into some lots that are not my stuff, but the other guy's stuff. It's still cool. I'm just looking to see when because I'm curious to know what my stuff is selling for. Not that I'm not curious about what his stuff goes for, but we get back in to my stuff. It looks like lot 7401, we start over again. So maybe, guys, what I'm going to do is, let's see, do I stop this and do a second video, or do I keep this video running? I'm going to, if you guys want to keep the chat and conversation going, let's take a little break for a bit. And actually, you know what? Hang on. What lot are we on right now? 7380. I think I can be patient. We've only got like 20 lots to go when it gets back into my stuff. Let's stick with it. Let's do this. Let's keep going. What else we got to do today? Let's sit here and talk. We're all pals, right? We're pals. Let's chat. We're talking about all kinds of fun stuff. We're talking about life and working in restaurants and whether people got to play with Play-Doh in Romania. Things I never thought I'd talk about today when the day started. If you are in a different country, what were your favorite toys growing up? Like in Canada or North America, we would have things, like Hot Wheels and Barbies and stuff like that. But what were you playing with in Europe when you were a kid? Let's get some feedback on what the heck was going on over there, because that's interesting to me. I remember when I used to own a store prior to the business I have now. We used to own a toy store at West Edmonton Mall years ago, and we sold toy cars. And the collectors were not buying the bigger die-cast cars because they simply didn't have room in Europe. They were buying smaller 1/43rd scale or smaller cars so that it would fit in the flat easier. So I would almost say that for those of you that know what I'm talking about, the G.I. Joe USS Flag toy that came out in the 80s was a aircraft carrier for kids that was the size of almost a real aircraft carrier. I can't imagine that being in some kid's bedroom in Europe when you have limited space. I see Brio wooden trains were popular. Yeah, they like those here too. What about Playmobil? I imagine that was around. Pablo says, I wanted a Grayskull castle so bad. He-Man action figures. Yeah, those were good. I never had He-Man, but I had a friend that did. And at the time that He-Man was out, I was asking for Mask toys, M-A-S-K. They were like cars that turned into airplanes and stuff. I wasn't so much into Transformers, but for whatever reason, those things appealed to me. Probably because you could put a little action figure in them and drive them around, and when you hit a certain button or turned a wheel, it would turn into something else. So that's what I was after when I was a kid. I never did have Ninja Turtles. Southern VT Groan says, Turtles, Mad Magazines, that kind of stuff. Clackers. I don't know what those are. Are those the ones that they're on a stick and you just whip them around and they make noise? I think that's what a clacker is. I remember those. Cabbage Patch Dolls. Nubia Flores, do you remember, I don't know how old you are, but there was a time in the 80s when people would get into fights, and I think somebody actually died over a fight over a Cabbage Patch doll in a shopping mall parking lot. People went nuts over those things. And you can still see when I meet somebody who's a little older than me even, that it was adults at the time that were buying them. So those people like in their 70s probably now, they're still attached to those Cabbage Patch dolls. And the kids are like over it. They're like, yeah, no, I don't need it that bad. Yo-yos, yeah, those were good. I'm not old enough to have had yo-yo people come to the school, but there was a period of time in the 60s and 70s when yo-yo would send like yo-yo professionals around to schools and put on a presentation. And I remember my dad telling me a story about how the yo-yo guy came to his school and he was doing tricks and walked the dog. And my dad, I forgot to tell my sister and brother this. I should remind them. Our dad used to know almost every kind of trick on a yo-yo there was. I guess his mind was blown as a youth. He must have sat there wide-eyed. It was probably the only time my dad was on the edge of his seat, or probably in a gymnasium on his knees, just leaned forward, eyes watching as the yo-yo man put on tricks. And he got himself a yo-yo and he practiced the heck. He could do the walk the dog and the triangle and he could make it sleep. And he actually taught me, I remember how to do some of that stuff. You know, how the string has to be kind of loose on the spool for you to make it go to sleep. And then you could bring it up and do the baby in the cradle or whatever. I used to know a few yo-yo tricks. I haven't done any kind of yo-yo tricks since I was a kid. This is a repressed memory for some reason. All because somebody said the word yo-yo. Nubia Flores says, I was a child in the 80s. I was also a child in the 80s, Nubia, so I get where you're coming from. Garbage Pail Kids. Yep. I remember those. I used to go to I used to like Wacky Packages better, though, because they would take like fake products and make fake names out of them. Those yo-yo guys would hand carve the yo-yos for you. I have a couple of those in my yo-yo collection. Donald has a yo-yo collection. Hide and seek outside in the dark. I wonder, Lorraine, how many people went missing for like a whole night, and they come back in the morning. This was the '60s, and where you been? I got lost in the woods. Well, get in and have a bath. You're all filthy. Like, I remember even my parents. Like, it was kind of like when the street lights would come on. That was when it was time to come home. And in Canada, during summer, it doesn't get dark till like 10 p.m. So you could be out pretty darn late as a kid before it started to get dark. So we had lots of mischief to be had running around our neighborhood when I was a youngster. I didn't have a whole pile of comic books. I used to like Dick Tracy comic books and stuff. Remember that. I never had Meccano. Pablo says he had Meccano. I wish I would have had more Meccano sets because I think that would have um, got me working with hand tools and stuff at a younger age. Oh, Lego. I had Lego was a thing that I loved. Anytime you got Lego was a good day. And even I'll admit, as an adult, Melissa included, I'll throw her in on this too. Getting Lego sets even as an adult is a fun activity. So where are we at? This is the other fellow stuff, but he's doing well. $80 on the phone parts. Mind you, if you have an antique phone and you're missing some of those pieces, those can be tricky to find. So those are handy things to have. $90 a bit on that. Let's see if they get up to 100 on that. Oddly, I noticed that he had my friend's daughter was interested in these Duran Duran T-shirts that were coming up for auction, but they didn't list the size. So they asked me what size they were, and I didn't know because they weren't my shirts. But um, my friend's daughter is very much into 80s kind of hair rock bands and stuff. $35 on those. I hope they get them. I hope they win them. Those are neat T-shirts. $50 a bit on those. $25 T-shirts, not too bad. Really obscure. If you're like a 18-year-old kid walking around in a Duran Duran shirt, that's pretty funky. $60 a bid. Let's see if they get up to 70. Those old concert shirts are actually pretty collectible. Alina says, I had Barbie dolls, but after 1990, after the Romanian Revolution, until 1989, we had communism, so there's not many toys from other countries. You would see old stuff from Romania is different. I imagine like handmade dolls, which are really quite charming. I imagine it would have been just kind of older stuff, but we've got some records coming up here. Rolling Stones vinyl promotional copy. And it's sad. I don't even know if that was, I don't think these are mine. I think that's his stuff. I know that these rock pop 45 albums and these concert passes, that's my stuff. The watches, the coins. I remember putting that stuff in. Pretty bad when you don't even remember what stuff you put in an auction. But like I take truckloads of stuff down there to get ready for one of these sales. It's a fairly big task. No, okay. Duran Duran is not obscure to us, Jim, but Duran Duran is obscure to an 18-year-old. They're listening to Frank Ocean and whatever else young people listen to. They're not listening to that kind of stuff. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. Who am I to say? I was surprised. This is the other thing that surprised me with Abigail the other day. Just like my son Jason snuck out and learned how to play the drums and guitar. And I don't know why. I'm very encouraging about that stuff. I don't know why they feel they have to go and do this stuff like in private and then come back. But Abigail taught herself how to play piano, and she was playing the jazz standard Misty. I'm like, wow, when did you learn how to play piano? She's been looking at YouTube videos, instructional videos, and teaching herself to play piano. So she knows like a few songs all the way through. And that's, some of them are pretty complex. I have to second guess my parenting now that my kids are showing talent, but they're sneaking off to do it. At least they're not sneaking out to smoke a cigarette. They're sneaking out and learning things. So there's that. I should just be happy. Maybe I'll just mind my business and just be happy they're turning out okay. Fleetwood Mac VIP concert pass, $12.50. These are kind of cool. You had to pay extra to go to the concert to get a pass like this. So there's Rolling Stones, Hurts to Be Human tour. Oh no, that's Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd concert pass. $10 for a Pink Floyd pass. That's a cool thing to put in your collection. If you collect rock concert memorabilia, those sort of passes are neat. And then there's the Rolling Stones. Bridges to Babylon tour, $97, $10. Yeah, Lorraine says that's a great thing to be sneaky about. Yeah. Matthew says these should be 50 to $100 each. Yeah. And you're talking US dollars too. Think that $15 Canadian is like $11 US. So there's that. Yeah, a Pink Floyd VIP concert pass for like $10 is such a steal. But that's the thing. Things are only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it at the time they're willing to pay for it. And yes, you could let it park on eBay for like a year or something, but I've always been of the mindset that I'd rather just flip things quickly and move along. If I get my money back and make a couple bucks, that's all right too. Here's a Tissot Touch wristwatch. New, it was $1,250. $100. Talk about depreciation on that one. 1848 Italian 5 lira coin, $15. The next one coming up, the British Airlines Junior Jet Club pin, is something they would have given a young flyer on a flight, but it's nice because it's enameled metal. It's a nice little piece. Just for $7. That's like $5 US for a nice little piece of aviation history. No sale. 1967 Canadian silver 50-cent coin, $20 on that. Again, the silver and gold and stuff people are buying because it's kind of safe bet to put your money into right now. Emmer says, remembering old toys, showing my age here, roller skates that you strapped onto your shoes. Yeah, my mom told me about those too. You just get it. I've seen those. You buckle them on. Supportive music parents is so nice to have. Neither mine or my best friend's parents ever complained when we were learning, but there are the odd times we come up from the basement and the door was closed. Yeah, I would always encourage my kids to play music. It feeds your soul. In fact, I haven't been playing music as much as I'd like to lately. I need to get back into that because I missed that. $45 on the 1904 Admiral pocket watch chain and working. Here's the Marvel Silver Surfer wristwatch. Needs a battery, but it's neat. Marvel Silver Surfer, $12, $12.50 is a bid. Looking for 15. If you're a Marvel fan, that's probably a unique and slightly rare piece. Off it goes. Vintage Winston cigarette advertising lighters. There are people who collect lighters, in case you're wondering. People collect pretty much darn near everything. $20 a bit on the cigarette lighter. There we go. Nickel silver case pocket watch as is. Needs some TLC, $12.50. Remember getting a Kodak instant camera when they were 10. Yeah, getting a camera was a big deal. If you had a camera when they were film cameras, like as a kid, you were like, wow, now I can actually, it makes you feel like you could connect with your environment. Now everybody has a camera attached to their hip on their phone. And I guess that's the same thing. Like for me, when I had a camera, I wanted to take pictures of the mountains or places we went. And now people are taking pictures of their food and showing it on Instagram and stuff. But they're interacting and they're experiencing life. Best watch to invest in is Rolex. Yeah, what about Patek Philippe? Rolex is pretty good though. 4 vintage watches as is, a little pocket watch there and some other stuff. $15 a bit on those. Incidentally, I do buy watches. So if anybody ever has any vintage watches, I'm always looking for high-end watches for my own collection or to resell. Omega, Rolex, of course, being at the top of the list. If you have anything like that, you can email me at curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. Vintage Schaefer swirl fountain pens, $80 a bit on those. They are very pretty. $80 a bit. Fountain pens, there are certain things that sell well. If you go into like a high-end wristwatch store now, they'll have your Rolexes and stuff like that, but they'll also oftentimes have fountain pens. Those things go hand in hand. Or wrist on wrist if you're talking about watches. A lot of 3 vintage advertising lighters, $15 a bit on those. We have a few lots of lighters coming up, $40 a bit on this batch. It's for me, it's nice when I put a little variety like this out and you see you're getting bids of like $40 on it, because I could have very well just thrown this stuff all in one giant cardboard box and gotten $10 for the whole box. But by breaking it up into individual lots like this, you help draw a better sale out and reach that market better. So lots of lighter collectors. Rolex is the best luxury watch for the main market, but there are far more expensive watches than Rolex. Yes, there are. But Rolex is really easy to sell. You get into some of those other brands, the real high-end stuff, that are like $100,000 to $150,000 for a watch, and it's a much smaller market for that stuff. where a Rolex is a really good watch that if you're kind of a normal person and just want to have a good watch, you could afford to get one if you saved up and stuff. But you get into like $100,000 watch, that's pretty high end stuff. And honestly, I've never owned a Patek Philippe or anything like that. Those things are just, it's kind of out of my league in terms of watches. I would feel weird walking around with that on my wrist. Vintage pocket compass and a player's extra light tape measure, $30 a bit on those. Will it go to 35? Nope, off it goes. World War II pilot's wings and vintage lighter, $15. It's a cool lighter. This is our flag, be proud of it. $17.50 the bid. I'm surprised somebody in the United States isn't bidding on that. That's American World War II pilot and an American lighter, and yet somebody here in Canada is bidding on it. $17.50. Off it goes. Solid brass Zippo lighter, and it looks like it says Big E on it. $22.50 is the bid on that. Lori Mitchell says, "I like those wings for my pilot son-in-law." Yeah, that's a neat thing to have. A lot of assorted estate jewelry, $60 on that little case, and some jewelry and bits and pieces and odds and sods. Okay, the next thing up, I was surprised because I had some vintage shirts. Look at this. I didn't think this would be worth that much. Silver Surfer t-shirt, size extra large, $300. It must be more rare than I knew. $325. This is one of those things where I had no concept of what it would potentially be worth. And by the way, vintage clothing is really becoming popular with like 14, 15-year-olds right now. The whole thrifting thing is big. So there's a Planet of the Apes t-shirt, same thing, extra large. Welcome to Earth with the Statue of Liberty buried up to the armpits, $15 a bit on that. My daughter loves to go thrifting, and actually so does my son, Jason. And Steven's kind of gotten into it too. So anytime I find vintage clothes, I always offer it up to my kids first to see if there's something they want. Abigail's getting a nice collection of vintage clothes. Steven's got a few vintage shirts that he wears regularly. Silver Surfer shirt, another one there, $110, $130. No idea that those would go for so much. So this is one of those things where what you gain on these sort of items helps make up for the losses you had on some of the others. This is what I'm saying. An auction usually balances itself out. It's balancing itself out in some of these vintage shirts. There's a Legion of Superheroes t-shirt. You have to know the logo to know what it is. $7.50. No sale. Rod Stewart concert shirt. And that's just from last year. Hits Tour 2023 with a very vintage looking logo, $7.50. Can't imagine what that would have cost to buy at the concert. Jethro Tull, $10. Ian Anderson plays Jethro Tull. Good learning of values of unusual items, says Lorraine. Yeah, sometimes you just really have no concept. Like you go through a box of t-shirts. That's why when I went through that hoarded house during the summertime where we bought the motorcycle out of the garage and a bunch of concert shirts were there. I go through the closets now, and if it's cool vintage clothing, I will certainly add it to it. And when I first started in this business, professionally buying and selling, I would say like a decade ago or so, I overlooked a lot of good vintage clothing. Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill. You Live, You Learn shirt, $45 on that. You know, I was surprised to learn that the the Alanis Morissette song was about Dave Coulier, the guy from Full House. He must have really broke her heart. Bonnie Raitt concert t-shirt, $10. There's a few good concert shirts in here, I will say. Actually, I kept back a couple, which I'm looking at right now. You can hear me turning my head and talking. Some of them were just neat, like Talking Heads and David Byrne and stuff that I'm like, oh gosh, I'm probably not going to see that kind of stuff come around too often. So, and I really like his stuff. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's too big for me. Rod Stewart is a model railroad and has a huge layout. So is Neil Young. Neil Young is part owner of Lionel Trains. I don't know if he still is. He was. We used to be Lionel Train dealers when we had our toy store, and Neil Young was, I think, like almost 50% owner or more. Anybody know how much of Lionel Train's Neil Young owns? Anyway, Bare Naked Ladies concert T-shirt, $15, $17.50. Yeah, you have to go through your closets, especially concert or printed graphic tees from the, I'd say, even mid 2000s and prior. They can be worth a lot of money, as we're seeing with some of this stuff. John Mellencamp shirt there. It's a good logo. He's got a motorcycle on it. If you have old concert shirts in your closet of shows you've been to, you might be sitting on a gold mine with some of that stuff. You have to be careful with dry rot, though. Thankfully for me, a lot of the old stuff I picked up has been okay. But if it's dry rotted, you can just kind of grab it and stretch it. But I've seen videos of people destroying really rare shirts that were dry rotted. You could have still framed it and used it as art. Why on earth would you just rip it just because it's fragile? Doesn't mean you can't conserve it and use it for another purpose. There's a garbage T-shirt there. By the way, with the antique business, you really, I just saw a comment about like when you make your money, whether it's buying or the selling of it. It's just, it's one of those things where you go into a situation, you try and make your best educated guess of what something may or may not be worth, or whether it's worth buying or not. And for me, I really do try and do bulk buys, so it kind of puts everything together in one lump sum, so it reduces the price overall, because then you have a better chance of profit. I really try not to buy things individually because it would be too risky. Like if I was buying these T-shirts and they said they wanted $10 a piece, well, I'd be losing or barely making money on some of them, making lots of money on the Silver Surfer ones apparently. But yeah, it's just one of those things. For me, it's the bulk deals help me to make sure there's profit with this stuff. Paul McCartney freshen up concert. Paul McCartney shirt, $15. You know, at some point that's gonna become quite collectible. One of the most famous bands, if not the most famous band ever. Blade Runner movie crew shirt, 2XL, $50. The early odd piece, $50. I had to look up that logo to figure out what it was. Somebody else had one on Etsy or something. That's how I learned what it was. 1950 Ontario license. We got a few old license plates coming up here. Some of them going back to the 1930s. $20 a bid on that. It's in good condition. $20 bid. Will it get to $22.50? No, it won't. 1958 Alberta license plate, $17.50. Jim said, did I hear a rumor that there's a house clear out series coming out soon? Yeah, Jim. House clear out series starts tomorrow. And it was a big one too. Not as hoarded as some of the places I've done, but it was a lot of work. And that series starts tomorrow. Laurie says, values are fickle. They ebb and flow. They sure do. 1930 Alberta license plate should be, you know, a $70, $80 plate, $25 here today. Just depends on who's on and who's watching, you know. I'm sure this person who's bidding is gonna be quite happy with it. Oh, except they just got outbid, $30, $35 now. Either way, that's a good price on a very early license plate. Especially if you have a 1930 car, like a Model A or something like that, you can put it on the front and just dresses it up nicely. 1931 Alberta plate, $25. License plates, I've been at auctions where license plates have gone for thousands of dollars each, and it's just boggling the money that certain plates can bring. Your big money is in the porcelain license plates, which would be like, what, pre-1918 kind of era. So if they're porcelain enamel, those bring good dollar. Otherwise, certain other plates are a little easier to find and not as expensive. But yeah, if you get two people in the building who really want an item, that drives it up. Absolutely. All it takes is two people. And we're getting some bids on some of this stuff, so it's all right. I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of this stuff are things that were just hanging around my place and there. Oh, Jim says, I wonder what that 31 place cost to get in 31. Probably like 25 cents or something like that. Wouldn't have been much. 1950 Alberta plate, $17.50. Plus condition plays a role. You get more money locally here if you have a matching set, because if you have a matching set, you can actually run them on your car. You can register those plates under the collector's program in my area. So you could have a 1954 car running with 1954 plates. Yeah, house clear out series starts tomorrow morning, guys, and it's gonna run through November with some other videos in the mix there too. So be prepared for another house clear out here tomorrow. This is the auction sale to kind of clean houses some stuff as we start doing some other things down the road here. California black plate. Nice if you buy a California car and it still has the black plates on it. I had bid on a storage unit not that long ago. Oh, Andrew says, I thought Alberta only has one plate. Yes, Alberta does only have one plate. I should clarify that. We only use a back license plate, but in the up until recently, we used to use two. And if you have a car that's from the 1960s, you have to own both the front and back plate because there's a possibility that somebody else could have that same plate. So that's why you have to have both plates to register it, is my understanding. Otherwise, you could have two cars with the same plate, even one as a novelty on the front, and then you running it as a proper one on the back. So they make sure you have both of the plates. Only recently we started going to a single plate. So there's no, in my area, we don't run a front license plate, which I know in a lot of places in the United States and in Europe and stuff, you guys still use two plates. For us, it's just one. Collector Coca-Cola bottle cap clock in the box, $15 a bid on that. The next one up at the cookie jar is pretty cool. I'm curious to see what that goes for. $30 a bid right now on the cookie jar. It looks like a little tabletop jukebox. So pretty cute. You have that sitting out on your table. You got the vintage look, and you can fill it with cookies. What's better than having cookies? Now I feel like a cookie. Thanks a lot, Coca-Cola. Oh, here's some more of the G1 Transformers, the Soundwave robot, $70, the bid on that guy. His little cassette sold earlier for 40. We've got a few vintage, let's see if we get some better prices on the robots, Transformers and stuff now. We're getting back into some collectible stuff. So guys, I'm going to stick it with you until we get to the end of the Transformers, I guess, or what am I going to get to? This auction's going to be running on throughout the day, by the way. And if you want to log in, you can go to kauctions.ca and you can bid and you can buy stuff and you can get it shipped or you can pick it up from the auction house. Even my dog Chewy's excited. He's barking in the background. Sorted Transformers, $12.50. And thank you again to everybody who sat with me for the last 161 minutes of your life. But I enjoyed the chat with everybody. You know, people from all over the world watching, some of them in Japan, where it's like probably 4:30 in the morning right now. This was a big collection of toys that I picked up off a guy. So it's nice that they're selling $20 on that. And it's got the two guns that go along with it. $20 a bid right now. We'll get $22.50 is what we're looking for. $20 a bid. And my pleasure to chat with you guys. $22.50 bid. Now looking for $25. $22.50. If you end up finding 1980s toys in their packaging, they can be worth quite a bit of money. The best Transformers toy I found was the Optimus Prime with the Pepsi logos in the original packaging, and it sold for over $1,000. That was a good score. 1981 or 1987 G1 Transformer Crosshairs with accessories. $20 a bid on that guy right now. Looking for $22.50. $22.50, now $25, now looking for $30. $25 bid, looking for $30. Sheila from New York hopping on here and there. Hello, Sheila from New York. We enjoy your town. In fact, I feel somehow connected to New York since I know everybody's relatives and ancestors came into New York, but mine came on a sailing ship and they lived there for a little bit before they moved away. So I feel like 1850 in New York was probably a much different time. They landed in the Battery when that was still a fort. That's how long ago my family came in. But then, you know, you're going to get somebody who's like, yeah, well, my ancestors came on the Mayflower. Mine wasn't on the Mayflower, but they weren't much later. I'm sure there was a lot of Dutch people still around New York at that point, 1850. 1986 G1 Transformers Broadside Robot. $17.50 the bid. Looking for 20. I have a car's worth of Beanie Babies in storage. Oh gosh. You know, but people are starting to collect Beanie Babies again. So you never know. You might be sitting on a fortune of Beanie Baby. I was really surprised when we did one hoarded house clear out, I think last year or the year before, and there was all kinds of Beanie Babies in there, and the Princess Diana bear went for like crazy money, and it was like the big Princess Diana bear. Maybe that's why I see a ton of the small ones, but the big one went for huge dollars. I was shocked. There's a bunch of sports cards and other various sorted stuff. $7.50. So I'm gonna flip this around now. I'm surprised I still have a voice after all this. Hey, look, it's me. I've been here the whole time. Guys, thank you so much for watching the live stream so far. I'm curious to know what some of these other things are going to end up going for. So I'm going to keep my eye on the auction sale throughout the day, and you can too if you log into kauctions.ca. And so far, the top selling item. Oh gosh, you know what? I never even got. They haven't even sold the cars yet. When is that happening? I think I'm gonna have to log back in and do a part two because they didn't even sell my cars yet. There's a Volkswagen, a Studebaker, that's coming up at lot 7601. That's in probably about 45 minutes. I guess I'll log back in after I have some lunch or so just to see what the cars are going for. So guys, lots of neat stuff for the sale today. Thank you again so much for watching, and stay tuned because House Clearout Series starts tomorrow. I've got lots of storage unit clearouts and digging around and finding collectibles and unboxing and stuff happening. So stay tuned for that. But for those of you that are interested in what the cars are going to sell for, I will log back in and do a brief live stream about that. So stay tuned for that later on. But let's go take a break, grab a bite to eat, and then we'll tune in a little bit later and see what the cars go for. So guys, we'll see some of you in a little while, and some of you might not see then, but thank you again for watching. We'll see you all soon. And as always, bye for now.